talks, right?
Right. She said, I'm the one who's adjusting the agreement that was good for them this whole entire time. Whoa. And now that with my growth, I'm looking back and saying, I don't like that way that contract is. I want a different contract. And if you can't meet the needs of my current contract, I don't want to affiliate with you. Well, you've changed.
Yeah.
Well, I did. Well, and because we put that negative connotation on it, we like, I don't want to change. And we sit there and continue to take certain things that we don't want, unwarranted attention, unwarranted abuse, emotionally or physically. Compared to with my growth, I did change. So therefore now, rather than my change being that I'm elevating to a new level, those who don't want us to change want to keep us at a certain lateral moves. Nah, eagles spread their wings and got higher.
Wow.
Eagles fly high. Welcome to Divine Purpose Podcast with your host, Daniel and
Patrice Myers. In this podcast, you will be introduced to the 3 C's:
comedy, conversations, and community. Join the discussion with fellow entrepreneurs, community activists,
with our major focus on the beauty of family in our community. Episodes drop every Tuesday. Whether inspirational or ratchet, all conversations have a divine purpose. So do I say corny or do you say corny?
You wrote it. Welcome to another episode of Divine Purpose Podcast with your host, Daniel and
Patrice Myers.
In this podcast, we will introduce you to the 3 C's: comedy, conversation, and community. Today, we are joined by the Roscoe family, Antoine and Kendra Roscoe.
Yay!
I can introduce them, but it would probably sound better if they introduce themselves.
Yes. Let's talk about all their state licensures.
Yeah.
Look, on that note, I'll start first. I'm Kendra Roscoe, and I am licensed in Virginia, was previously licensed in DC. I can pick it up, but right now have let it expire as it does not serve me in this moment. But let my husband tell it, I'm licensed in multiple states. So yes. DC is not a state.
I have a background in clinical mental health and behavior therapy and more focus on forensics individuals. Right now, I work with jail diversion, helping individuals who have been incarcerated be coming back, implemented back in the community, and then also working with at-risk youth as well. And definitely just been a correctional officer, been in radio, marketing, advertising. Just, I like to say I'm just a friend to the friendless.
A friend to the friendless. That sounds good. I'm a friend to the friendless too.
He is definitely going to use that.
Thank you, bro.
And be like,
the next time a homeless dude knocks on my window and asks for change and with that dirty glove, I'm gonna be like, I am a friend to the friendless. Here you go. Just don't call it. COVID lingering around and all
the
that.
Window
Yes, no, get away from me.
All the way.
There's your dollar.
You should see when I hear people they ask me, "Hey, brother, you have any change?" Honestly, brother, if I could afford it, I would give it to you.
Right.
And they're like, "Damn, thank you for acknowledging me." Yeah, I can afford to give you this money. I don't care what you see in this big ass Popeyes bag. It's what I could afford. I can afford to give extra.
But no, we're glad you guys are here, and we appreciate you coming to us on this platform. And we deal with a lot of couples and community issues, and one of the biggest reasons that we created this podcast was because we wanted to not only share our story in hopes that it will help other relationships, because the foundation of our community is family, and we believe that showing spotlight to healthy relationships is definitely needed in this time, because it seems to be like a war between black women and black men for whatever reason. And
because of slavery. Because of slavery.
Yeah, it's all.
So let me tell you a quick story about that. I'm so glad you brought that up, Kendra. Me and Daniel was into, this was about 4 years ago when we first got back together. We was having a horrible argument. He was on his way taking me to work, and in that moment, for some reason, I had this flashback of slavery.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh my God. It was like, you have to tell him that you forgive him, and not necessarily like he did something wrong, but that it was okay.
Yeah.
We were not in control of what happened. It wasn't your fault that I was raped. It wasn't your fault that we was taken. I forgive you. We are okay. And for some reason, that past life just hit me in the midst of the conversation. And like you said, it is because of slavery. We have been
generational trauma. I can sit on my soapbox. I'm gonna get on it for like 5 seconds, then I'm gonna hop off. So generational trauma.
Yeah.
I always segue when I do this in therapy sessions. Do y'all save your food? Like you go to a restaurant, put it in the box, take it home, put it in the fridge. Week later, you got to throw it out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're guilty of it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had to remind Antoine just 30 minutes ago that we got chicken in the fridge. We don't need Popeyes tonight. we got chicken. It's back there. So with that came from the Great Depression. I didn't live in the Great Depression. My parents didn't live in the Great Depression. But saving your leftovers came from the Great Depression. That's when salt and preservatives really got put into food so that food would be stretched, because food was scarce because of what was going on during that era. Wow. Again, fast forward, we're doing it now. So going back to slavery, generational trauma, women and men did not sleep in the same area. Men were separated from the women because, again, we were livestock. If a man is now coupled with a woman, he's only going to be able to birth livestock once a year, versus if he is now a product of 5-6 women, he can now have 5 or 6 livestock at a time. Dang. So if we're looking at just generationally, what has been taught of a man is, I'm a single man that gets to breed with this woman. A woman, a Black woman, has been taught, I need to take care of my household because I don't have him.
So we're dealing with like PTSD from a long,
mind blown.
Yeah,
400 years of a thought process.
Yeah, and then when you think about it, like if you look at it from this country, right?
So Nick Cannon out here really living out this generational trauma.
Nick Cannon? Yeah, he got some livestock.
He's just a breeder.
Yeah. A breeder.
Yes.
He's a fellow right now. Yeah, that's a bull. A bull.
So if we were to reverse back time, Nick Cannon was definitely one of the breeders. He was a breeder.
Yeah.
He was
but and that's the type of person that they would breed. They bred us. Like they bred to like be a certain build and connect them with a woman that's a certain way. So I think it's almost like a benefit for us to connect, because it's almost taking back our power. If I choose to be with my woman, I'm choosing that. I don't have to soar my royal oats all over the place. I'm choosing to be with this woman because me personally, I feel like God designed this woman for me. So if I feel that way, why do I have to feel ashamed for feeling that way? Mm-hmm. We were conditioned to think a certain way, and I take pride in what we're doing. I don't mind being a fucking poster child for the shit, and I'm a regular motherfucker like anybody else at the end of the day. So it just is what it is. You know what I mean?
I love that you say you take pride in that. And when I've looked at some of your previous podcasts, y'all speak about your relationship, taking a break and then coming back. I think there's so much power in the aspect of gaining control of what you've gone through and experienced to help your growth.
Yeah.
In media, I used to do marketing and advertising. In media, if you plead the fifth, 70% of Americans believe that you're guilty already.
Yeah.
Wow.
Compared to admitting that, hey, I went through this.
Yeah.
I went through it, and I've grown and became a better person by it. Yeah. And then moved on. This is my second marriage. I tell people all the time, hey, I went through a first one. Yeah. It didn't work out. We grew in a different mindset and weren't on the same paths.
Yeah.
She is who she is. There are different things I would like to be different, of course. At the same time, she's not who I am with. Yeah. Not who I'm trying to grow with, continue to grow with. So grabbing that and not allowing it to be used as something, like we said, change, review it. Perception is everything. Oh, well, you've been married 2 times. Yeah. The second time around, I got it right, and I'm not ashamed about it. You know, I've had associates ask me, "Oh, Sco, I'm thinking about possibly divorcing and this and that. What would you say?" I said, "Have you tried everything without expecting something back?"
Whoa.
Have you tried everything without expecting something back?
Hey,
Yeah.
that's some therapy shit right there.
Hold on, before we get time out. Before we get
Don't
more
you
therapized,
therapize me.
before we get more therapized, we got to make some church announcements. We're gonna come back with the icebreaker. So, church
I'm
announcement.
not trying something without expecting something back.
Every Sunday, you can find us at Culture Coffee 2 at our vendor marketplace. Not only are we operating in our divine purpose, but we are looking for others that's working and operating in their divine purpose. We are at a Black-owned coffee shop. We would like to promote businesses and small businesses that are looking for opportunities and consistency to be able to showcase their services and or products. It's at 300 Riggs Road in South Dakota Avenue, right in the Fort Totten area of Washington, D.C., connected to the Walmart, right across the street from the Chick-fil-A. Please come through. If you are a vendor, hit us on our inbox. If you know a vendor, send them to us, and we would like to do that. Our next live recording will be at Culture Coffee 2. It'll be in the month of June. We'll have the dates ready for you. What else we got going on, love?
I don't know.
That's it right now.
It off.
And
So well.
I did do that so well.
You did.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you.
I mean, I be trying. You got to tell people.
So going back to what you said, I can't say Roscoe. Both of y'all are Roscoe's,
Right.
but Antoine,
we're Rascos. I'm the Roscoe.
so what you brought up is this being your second marriage. So let's start with, how did your love story start?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm allowed to tell this. So Antoine stole my job.
Say it.
Antoine, this guy over here, stole my job.
Oh shit.
We interviewed for the same position. I was already in the position, but was looking to be employed full time. He was working in another branch, and they brought him in for that full time position, and then had the nerve. So it was the Friday before he started the Monday. That Friday, they dropped the bomb on me. Mr. Roscoe will be starting. We need you to let him shadow you so he can be trained.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I was like, miss me on that. Miss me. I don't want it.
So you didn't
No
let-
parts.
You shadowed. I shadowed.
Yeah, he did shadow.
That's why he's sitting here right now.
Shadowed, and then wouldn't leave my car at lunchtime because I pulled up and was like, "See you after lunch." And he's like,
So
I'm going with you.
she's reluctant and everything. So that's how we met. Shadowed at in North Carolina, and so I'm shadowing her and everything like that. You know, first day I got my suit on and everything like that, fresh haircut and everything. So she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm about to drop you off for lunch." You know what I mean? I'm like, "Drop who off?" I said, "I'm not from around this area. Where you go to lunch and I'll tag along with you." She was like, "Excuse me?" I said, "Where are you going to lunch and I'll tag along with you."
Oh, you put the deep voice on.
Oh, and then he goes, drop an octave on me.
And so she took me with her to lunch.
so we started off as colleagues and friends. And then he moved back to DC, and he helped me curve my resume because I actually was trying to move up here with my best friend. My best friend lives in Manassas, Virginia. Oh, glory. Shout out to Dawn. I was trying to move up here and had been getting no hits. So he was like, "Hey, change these wordings." I finally got up here. So of course, networking, I reached back out. We went on a couple of dates. I call myself a recovering crazy.
Can I ask a question? So from the time that he took your job to when you moved to DC, what was the time frame?
A year or two.
Almost a year, like close to a year. And then so we stayed friends during that time, but it was like, "Hey, how are you?"
I had my daughter. Kendra was very nice to me because I like I said, I didn't know that particular area of North Carolina, and I had my daughter from my previous marriage that was, getting on weekends here and there, and so I'm always was struggling. Unless I have family members down there who are very supportive, love my family in North Carolina, who would like take their time, adjust their schedule. So my daughter would have a play date. I'm just trying to figure out every weekend, literally at that time, every weekend, what I'm gonna do with my 2-year-old. And then I had a daughter.
Find a woman because it's the truth.
And she had a godson.
My neighbor was I had a neighbor that had a 2-year-old son too, and that was my little homie. That was my best friend, my baby. Shout out to Elijah. So we started connecting them. So they went to like the festivals together, like when I knew festivals were in town. So we did that. And then of course, just working together, we shared the same caseload. We were working with severely mentally ill individuals. And our team was, I think, 6 professionals deep, and we all collaborated together to make sure these like 50 individuals got where they needed to be throughout a week. So that it had to be a lot of we had to lean on each other.
Yeah,
so we got really close. Our team was a really close-knit team. Fast forward, when I moved here, we attempted to do a few dates. We went on a few dates, but like I said, I'm recovering crazy. I was in full crazy mode then.
What does that mean?
Recovering crazy?
Yeah.
And this is not this. So for people, as I said, I was a therapist. This is not a PC term. This is just a Kendra term.
Okay.
We have a lot of terms. So recovering crazy is I have done some things that
Not to me.
I have done some things that I should not be proud of. Part of my story. Some things that would scare people. Scares him. And I have reacted to things that I feel like I could react better to. So he was seeing some of those behaviors and he was like, man, I can't.
You're not fully healed yet. I got you.
Yeah, yes, like.
But you're the professional. So let me ask you, how does that work? Being the professional in therapy and you're recovering crazy, do you use your own crazy to relate to your clients per se?
To an extent, a lot of times what I tell people when they come to me, I am not your end all be all. I am literally handing you tools as an objective person. It could be anybody here. It's just more so personality wise. The comparison I usually give is shoes. The reason shoes is $1 billion market is because the shoes I like may not be the shoes you like. Yeah. You got to find that therapist that works for you.
Yeah.
Essentially, it's about personality blendings, but it's really about the tools that you need. My experience isn't going to change necessarily your walk because our walks are completely different. What I tell substance abuse people, because they ask a lot and some of them may need it, again, in their journey, they know what they need as time goes on, but they'll ask like, well, have you used, how am I supposed to relate to you if you've never used? And what I tell people is like, you have to go with your worst case scenario. If you think worst case scenario, I've smoked, done everything under the sun, I may have some in my car right now. Is your worst case scenario? Think that of me. Or your worst case scenario is I don't even know what alcohol is from apple juice. Take your worst case scenario and then decide if you can deal with me. Because ultimately my journey does not dictate yours. And the way I've explained it to non-therapeutic people is like a teacher recently asked me, and I can be transparent, you know, we have a 5-month-old son. I've not had full blown postpartum this time, but I did have postpartum with my first son. I definitely had strong baby blues, and I do what I need to make sure it does not turn into postpartum. And a teacher asked me, well, how can you be a therapist if you're going through something yourself? And I said, the same way a teacher does not get asked to step down because their kid cannot read.
No, that's true. That's true, because I'm a firefighter by profession. And if I walk down the street and see a burning building and I don't have my suit, my face mask, what am I going to do? I can't put it out with my stuff. But when I'm at work and I'm with my gear and I'm there in my professional stance, I can run into that burning building because I'm protected and I know. So
Wow.
So that I want to add to her story of how we met. I also, at the time, she wasn't a therapist when she was recovering crazy as well. She
I was
just
in the
moved.
field.
You was in the field, but you had you weren't a therapist yet. And then also when I first moved up here, I will admit because they're very real on their podcast, so I don't mind being real with you all. Yeah, y'all are very real. I just was moving back to DC as an adult for the first time, and I left as an 18-year-old and came back as 27,
30.
Oh,
So
damn.
you're a totally different person coming back.
So you had
totally different person, then totally a single man generating revenue.
He was like, as a man now.
I told Kendra honestly, I was like, look, I do love you. I do want to be with you. I do care about you. Though I was on my Donnell Jones shit. You know what I mean? I need to be out here for a second. Yeah, I need to be out here for a second. And she was like, so yeah. And she was like, what do you expect that from me? And I'm like, I still want to date you. I'm being respectful to you. I still want to be around you. I'm just letting you know that I'm going to be going out to dinner with this and that person as well. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily a particular individuals, but I still want to be in your life. She was like, what, you want me to wait for you? I said, no, I'm not expecting that. I said, though, at the same time, if that guy who's trying to court you isn't doing better than me, then I will be able to get you. If he is doing better than me, then I missed my opportunity. But
So y'all really dated, the real definition of dating, which means that you are seeing other people and you're trying to figure out who is the best match. That is really dating.
Yeah.
Dating, we're committed.
Well,
And
could
now-
if you say you're committed.
No, dating.
Oh yeah, the dating phase.
Dating phase is not committed.
Yes. And that's the difference. I didn't do that in my first marriage. I committed myself before really even dating, even as a youth. My first marriage, I was married at 23.
Yeah.
I didn't know who I was, let alone to put that responsibility on my ex-wife.
That's
you know
what
I'm saying.
First marriage. It's like she says she doesn't mind being married. I think as a man, it's a little bit different because we were married at 21. 21, and nigga, I was in a go-go band. I was.
Oh, you was the man.
I was just out and about, like I'm fucking Dan. I'm Dan that dude or Danny boy. Like, so I wasn't even ready. I wasn't mature enough. I've never gone through just a dating phase. You know what I mean? I'm actually kind of glad I didn't because I probably would have never stopped. Because I just, it's just being honest. Like I know for me, I've always had to have someone.
I think you've definitely gone through a dating phase, but didn't know how to actually be honest enough to say that you were in a dating phase. Instead, what you did was found that Kendra, and said, I want you to know I'm committed to you. But you were still doing your own thing, but you wanted to hold her hostage because you didn't want to lose me.
Her is definitely you.
So you wanted to hold me hostage because you didn't want to necessarily use me, but still do your thing. So it was like, all right, let me make sure she knows she locked in, but I'm gonna still be doing my thing. And so it was an honesty thing because it's almost selfishness. Like, this is my toy. No, but yes, I'm playing with other toys, but this is my toy.
So that leads me to a question then for you, Roscoe. How would it feel? I'm sorry, Antoine.
No. Everybody knows me at Roscoe, brother. Even people in my government job. You good.
How was it? Like, okay, you were honest in saying you were dating, but how did you feel if the shoe went out of foot?
Yeah.
She was seeing some people, not a lot of people, not as many as me. I'll admit that. But she would allow people who, if somebody tried to and they had a good enough game to go on a date with her, she would tell me, I'm going on a date, and I would be like, that's all I need to know. Yeah. So I was a little bit more mature with Kendra. So I would be like, all right, let me know so I'm not blowing up your phone and sending stuff all throughout your date. Because I would do that before to keep in the set. It was a mind game. I'm going to keep myself at the front of your mind. So while you're on this date with this dude, I'm sending you all type of pics, all different stuff. I'm flirting with you. So you only thinking about me while you went on this date with this dude. But then, this is going to sound very cocky. I got confident in myself to be like, I need to be out here for a second. But shawty, what I got, I'm super califragilistic. I got that SB dope shit. So when you come back around me, you're going to want to, I'm going to try my best to court you to get you back. And she, you know, I did the process do well. I do want to give Lola one thing that she did that helped us when we did become a couple. For the longest, I was a so-and-so. That's a term she coined. I was a so-and-so.
Okay.
And what that so-and-so, you want to say it or you want me to?
I can,
Okay.
because I'm not sure what you're going to say.
Crazy shit.
A so-and-so, especially coming from a female point of view, you have your female friends, like my writer, our oldest son's godmother. She's already said, don't tell me what goes bad in your relationship because I can't come back from it.
Yeah.
She knows herself.
Loves me to death. I know she does, and every couple needs that one friend. You know my right hand. You know, both y'all know Reggie.
Yeah.
Reggie is my right hand. Yeah, that's my right hand, and that's her right hand. Where it's like, don't tell me too much because I love you. I like Antoine. I'm beginning to love him, but she loves Kendra. So
Yeah.
She's like, I won't come back from it because of those experiences. I decided, like with coworkers and friends I was meeting here, I did not want them to know who he was. So
you kept him in the cut over there.
Yeah, so his name was so-and-so. So like I would have a house party at my house with my coworkers. We did a lot of happy hours. At the time, at the job I was working at the time. Yeah, we did happy hour. Everybody was bringing food and we get really lit, and then I'd pray that everybody got home because I was already home. Jokes on them.
That's what we used to do. Literally. That was literally what we used to do. We used to throw these kickbacks in our house, and I'd be like, just text us when y'all get home. We're probably gonna be asleep, but
one of my homegirls.
I'll see you in the morning.
One of my homegirls were still really good friends to this day. We used to laugh because she was my neighbor, so she could walk home. And so what I would do is I would make sure she stumbled across the street because it was a busy street to her. And then
parties, that's my kind of vibe.
let me tell you something, man. When we used to have our parties, right? My aunt, we used to live in apartments in Riverdale, and my aunt lived in the next apartment, like over, right? So we was in this garden. It was in the next garden side. We was in goddamn man. It was Mexicans around us. It was fucking goddamn else. It was the fucking MS-13 all around us, right?
Oh wow.
We was like one of the only black people in there. So it was my family was in the next apartment complex. So our daughters were small. So people used to come over our house. I would call my aunt and be like, hey, we got some people coming over. You want to watch? Because they had young kids too. I would walk my daughters. This is going to sound horrible.
This is horrible.
I would walk my daughters because the apartment complex was separated by a fence.
Because why would we have to walk all the way around?
Not going to walk 2 blocks.
We could boost these girls over this fence.
I would pass my daughters over the fence.
Sounds like a lot of engineering going on. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Look, I think that's very strength based.
It's across the street. It's like a field right there, and their fence was literally at the end of it. So in order to go there, you would have to go all the way down the block and come into their complex. But instead,
oh yeah, I know that. Yeah,
my daughter's around over top of the fence.
And we're done.
I'll be back to get them in the morning.
Yes,
and we would have that shit, man. And
we're done.
The benefit of Kendra calling me a so-and-so is that when I did come around, her friends didn't have a prejudged aspect of me.
Yeah.
Because I was in my dating phase. Mm-hmm. So though I was still being in her life, I was still out here doing me. And sometimes it would frustrate Kendra because sometimes I didn't answer my phone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Kendra, so
that's an interesting
I don't know if I am mature enough to even though I want that level of honesty, I don't know if I would have been okay
back then.
I don't know if I would have been okay with knowing like, oh, you're not answering the phone because you out with somebody.
Well, I didn't tell her I was out with somebody. I just didn't answer the phone.
But the difference
but we're not stupid.
Yeah. But the
assumption is an assumption.
Yeah.
I'm not stupid.
So, I don't like it.
Walk like a duck, quack like a duck.
I don't know what that phrase is.
I don't need you to come up to me and say I'm a duck. I know it's a duck.
I'm sure it's a duck.
Be able to handle it if he started out with honesty off the rate. See, I didn't start out with honesty. I would act like you my everything, but
not if I really like somebody. I think if I really people that I didn't really fuck with like that, I didn't care what they were doing. But somebody that I actually like, it will bother me.
I mean, it bothered me. It's not like I was like, "Yay, no."
Knock her down.
Did you think you put in
You
there?
know what it was? You know what it was for me, Patrice and Daniel? Honestly, I had just come out of a very rough marriage.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like Kendra and I don't argue now because I know what arguing is from my first marriage, and some of it, or I would even dare to say majority of it, was my own immaturity of allowing myself to be placed in situations to cause an argument. And what I mean by arguments, because the police were called, like constantly. You know what I mean? Like that's why I tell Kendra now, we don't have arguments. We have debates, heated debates. But the police have not been to our door off of our yelling in our house like my first marriage was. I mean, the police were called, like asking me, I know this is not your fault, Mr. Rasco, but do you have somewhere you could go for the rest of the night at 3 o'clock in the morning?
Wow.
What you mean? You know what I mean? My daughter's here. Well, if you don't leave, she's going to have to drive off. All right, well, my daughter's here. Keep my daughter in the house. I'll call one of my homeboys. And thank God at the time, you know, the people who are up, either family or the dudes in the street.
Yeah.
So I'm having to call my homeboys and dudes in the street like, hey, man, you might want to spend the night. You know, we have a Trappist go come through. All right, thank you. You know what I mean? And so with that, being that I came from such a different relationship that I never experienced myself or view myself being in, I said, I'm going to do totally different with this one. I want to be with it. I even said something that you probably wouldn't agree with. When we first started getting close, she was like, Kendra was like, all right, what are you scared of? I'm like, I'm scared of the process that I might have to push you through for me to want to be with you.
Mm.
And she was like, what do you mean by that? I said, I was so nice with my first wife that I didn't see the character that she would display when times got rough. So when times got rough, I was shown a different individual that surprised me.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that again.
Yeah.
How are you going to react to harsh times? Who is it? Dr. King that says,
Martin Luther King Jr.
An individual's true character is displayed in the face of adversity.
Hold on, I'm getting real quote.
That's true.
You don't think that's it?
It's not.
I'm gonna go tell you what the quote was going to be.
Yeah, that's interesting because like adversity does build character, but like I always say, like this right here is our second time together, and we're not married on paper right now, but this is, you know, she never changed her last name. I feel like she's old. You know, I feel like this is
we have a story for that.
Yeah, I feel like it's progressing, but at the end of the day, I know for a fact, like when we divorced the first time, what I went through in my second marriage, it prepared me for this second go around with her. What I realized through that time, I'm not gonna act like my second marriage was totally toxic because it wasn't. I won't do that. But we had some issues, especially towards the end. And I wasn't looking to even be with Patrice like at all. It just happened so fast. But what I realized this go around was I'm not playing. So I was mature enough to say, you know what, if we're going to do this, like she moved in, we connected. We really decided like one night we connected and we didn't have sexual intercourse, but we connected that first night. And after that, I just was like, I think I'm mature enough now to handle this. And I think the lessons that I learned from first being with her in our first marriage and how toxic it was, in my second marriage, the lessons that I took, I was like, you know, I kissed my second wife's ass and it still ended up like in divorce. Right? So I realized, okay, I'm not going to be no ass kisser no more. I'm a lot more honest this go around with Patrice. And in that honesty in the beginning, I was like, look, we know each other. We know each other's family. We know each other's background. I don't want to go through the fucking dating phase. If we're going to do this, we're going to do it.
Yeah.
And I didn't expect all this at all to spawn from it, but we did it. And our daughters didn't even want us to do it. They was like, no, man. Like, we just, the maturity that you learn from the past it helps you with where you are today.
Absolutely, it shapes it should shape your future actions.
Yeah,
That's what makes your past lessons versus past mistakes.
Exactly.
But MLK says the ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy.
Yes.
I think mine was the abbreviated version that I quoted from him, but you know what I mean.
I'm just saying it wasn't the right
Well, all the other states,
Hey, you know one thing though, when we I like that you said that because I was kissing mine as well. And I was finding myself always upset because I wasn't being who I truly was.
Yes.
I wasn't being who I am.
You know, that breakdown. I was like, I actually said this, and I think this was the beginning of the end of that marriage. I told her one day, I said, look, man, I can't pretend no more. I can't keep wearing this fucking mask no more. This is, and once I actually became who the fuck Daniel is, it was just like, you fell in love with what I was presenting or what I was trying to do for you or what I wanted to display. But you can only keep that shit up for so long.
You can only fake it, but for so long, yeah.
So you have to be honest with yourself in order for your spouse to understand who you are. You got to be honest with yourself first, and you got to go through first. You know what I mean?
Yes, agreed.
That's hard in the dating piece altogether, and I think that's one of the key pieces in Antoine and I's relationship. Going back to the introduction, and even down to like that hard space of like the so-and-so, the gray area is that first year of us getting to know each other, there was no intention of ever dating. We were not checking for each other in a way of like, this is going to turn into anything. So for me, I could be my completely transparent self and say what I do and do not do in relationships.
Right.
I could be my petty self because
he knew you were crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, I kind of wilded out this weekend. Hey.
Yeah. He knew where fish juice went.
I don't want to know.
I'm sorry.
Fish juice.
Fish juice?
People see this.
Yeah, it'd be like, does she know everybody? No. There are places you can put it on vehicles that you do not need access to the vehicle, but it will be in the vehicle for a very long time, especially if it's hot in the summer.
You're just driving like, what
the fuck? Turn the AC on harder. It just...
Did it been a wolf around here?
I ain't been dating that much in this motherfucker.
Like I said, none of this stuff happened to me.
Oh, Kendra, fish juice.
And that's
that
is some fucked up shit.
That's some fucked up.
She diabolical when it comes to
curtain rods. Look, another gem for you. Curtain rods are hollow.
Tell them what that means.
You can put stuff in them. That may rot.
So she's saying if you're in somebody's house and they did you wrong, a curtain rod, put shrimp in it, and then put it back up. And they'll know what the hell is going on, why their whole house stank.
Kitchen, just a second.
She looks so excited about this shit.
You see the crazy in it?
Look, this is my walkout. Like, don't deal with me if you don't want to. I ain't coming back.
I've heard about these in movies, and most of the time it's always a witch, like a witch doctor doing stuff like that. Some voodoo stuff.
Her roots are in Mississippi.
That's fucked up. Right? I'm gonna tell y'all how that's fucked up. That somebody like me.
Oh, it would drive him insane.
Because like I wake up in the morning and try to clean up and shit. So if I'm
and it still smells.
That's the point, though.
I would never check the fucking curtain rods.
No one's ever checking a curtain rod.
Why you got fish juice in your car? Like, but I ate fish. Like, man, you know, went through $1,000 in car detail and your shit still stink. That's why I said I kept an eye on her.
You sleep like this.
No, what I always used to tell friends, because they would call me, that I would be the keeper of the keep, as Shrek says.
So you don't have to. I ain't out here scraping fucking things and breaking out windows.
Oh no, I'm not going to jail.
but think about it. That's gonna just that's Curry, like, okay, break windows, this and that. That crazy chick put it on social media. Look what she did. She crazy. But her get back is to fuck with your head. Now you driving around for a month or so, wondering why your shit stink. Every person you go on a date with after her, the chick in the car, you fucking in your car? Why smell like shrimp in here? Old ass fish. You get dirty ass bitches. And next thing you know, he ain't getting no play in the car. Change his whole world around. Now he got to turn his car in. He fuck his whole life up. You know what I mean?
A man can't date no more unless he get a new car.
Unless he get a new car. He can't bring nobody at his house. His mama and then try and help clean up. What's going on, baby? Because he got shrimp in the curtain rods.
No, you don't. We good. You don't got to figure out shit. God damn it. I'm about to go put my tourmaline on.
Look, now you're going to be like...
You're going to be opening up all kinds of curtain rods. You won't get me. Wow. That was genius. That's genius. So how long did y'all date before y'all became committed?
So we did the dating thing for 2 years.
Okay.
So that's when I tell people that's a long time, but again, like I said, I dated during that time. He dated during that time.
Right.
So there are periods of times that we may not have talked for 3-6 months.
Okay.
Wow.
Because I was investing in someone else.
Yeah.
That's an interesting start.
And that we would check in with each other, but not necessarily like full blown. Hey, you doing good? I'm doing good. All right, cool. Just want to check in on you. Yeah.
And like I said, during the time, I did not like it. There's multiple times I tried to be like, this is my last time meeting with you. I'm over this. You can't get it together, and I don't like this.
Yeah. You know what?
Then I would date somebody and be like, well, they're worse than him.
I love this question because every single couple that we ask this question to has a different story on how their love story started. And it's helping me also to appreciate our starts because oftentimes
I haven't heard a fairy tale yet.
I ain't heard no fucking fairy tale. But they're all
everybody's taking note of that.
They're all interesting, and that's why we try to keep the buck on here because it's like you don't have to. If we are real with ourselves, it's perfect in helping other people to become. It's relatable.
The truth.
It's relatable.
Yes.
It's relatable. But what you said in the beginning, a lot of times when we go on a date, just like we go to an interview, because I was telling some of my girls that are like, well, he wasn't like that in the beginning. Nobody is about to go on a date and be like, I like to cheat. I pick my butt.
Yeah.
I don't wash every third day. Like, no one is going to go to an interview and say these things.
Yeah.
Just like I never am going to an interview and say, like, I'm going to try to find your loopholes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to do the least amount of work that's not going to get me in trouble. You never put that in an interview.
No one's going to say that.
Yeah.
No one's going to say that.
Ever.
So again, going back to that fairy tale traditional dating, that comes with a facade.
Yeah.
So something has to happen to get people out of that to even get to a place of longevity.
Yeah.
So with you guys both being in the professional field of therapy, right? How does that affect you guys' communication? Like, is it a gift or a curse? Like, you know how the mind works. You're professionals and you have clients and you see how people dealing with each other. Being professional therapists or behavioral specialists in your fields, how does that, does it help or hinder your relationship?
I think we both have different answers as he's looking at me. I think it's a double-edged sword. It helps and it hinders. So for Antoine, I feel like he has blind spots because this isn't really his expertise. He does serious mental illness. Okay. So unless it's coming really big, I don't know if y'all watch Insecure. That episode about postpartum. I love that episode because it was so subtle.
Yeah.
Where most people see postpartum as this crying woman.
Yeah.
So Antoine is looking for those big moments, those crying moments.
Yeah.
Versus things could be very subtle of like, I'm not okay or we're not okay.
Yeah.
That he misses because he's so used to the serious mental illnesses that are big explosions.
Right.
So he's not reactive before that. And again,
to the Yeah.
Yes.
to the buildup.
To the volcano erupts. Yes.
Yeah.
So, you know,
when I first
that is so interesting because even though we are not therapists, that is actually exactly how Daniel is.
Yeah.
He only reacts to the volcano exploding, but I can be saying, hey, look at where we are. Hey, and it's not till there's this big
fucking lava all over
eruption.
the place.
burning your feet.
This motherfucker. Oh, the fucking lid popped when you got
Oh my
there.
God, that's so interesting. So okay, so you said that he doesn't react until it's the blow up, but on your end,
I critique a lot, even down to if he's just having a conversation with me, it comes off as a critique. So I internalize a lot. With internalizing, sometimes I don't verbalize it. And that is one of my biggest faults going into our marriage, our relationship that I have to work on still to this day, 5/13/2022. I still have to work on. Me and Self have a conversation. I'm a Gemini, so she talks back.
Don't she?
Don't she?
I have to talk to myself, especially because, again, going back to the recovering crazy, you know I'm very sharp with my tongue. He is a very sensitive soul, and my sharpness will last years off of something that now I've missed the point. And that's, again, I know I can say it in therapy, but it doesn't mean practicality shows up. Just because, again, it goes back to that toolbox. Just because you have a toolbox doesn't mean you actually use it. How many hammers do you have in your house? I know I counted 3 just from this garage this weekend.
Yo, I finally had to tell my father. My father used to buy me tools every fucking Christmas and birthdays. And I'd be like, and one day we was talking, and he was like, man, I get you tools and all this stuff, and and you don't never use them. I said, hey, Pop, let me tell you something, man. I don't fix shit. That's not
surface level only.
You tell him, because my father was always like, man, you're supposed to fix shit. And it's just like, look, man, I will pay somebody to fix this shit. I'm not going to do it. You gave me a fucking drill, and I drilled a fucking hole in my hand.
Oh my God.
I drilled a hole in my finger. And I was
trying to build Kaylin Kiera's crib.
Yeah, and I'm like, yo, I just don't know. This my brothers in the electrician field, like y'all.
That's what they do.
Yeah, my shit. I know how to talk. That's why I love podcasts. I can talk like a motherfucker.
That's your niche, right?
Niche is talking, bringing people together.
And you're a good cook.
Oh yeah, I can cook like a motherfucker. I can do that. That nigga would have bought me some pots and pans. I'd have been straight. Nigga, I got a skillet my grandmother gave me like 10 years ago. I still use that motherfucker. So,
and the best.
Mm-hmm.
I would definitely say that's how we were in the beginning of our relationship. Definitely, especially with our first son. I was reactive, and I was depending on her to tell me. I'm just saying all the time, communicate. Tell me, how can I help you? How can I help you? Not realizing she doesn't know what I could do necessarily to help her in that state that she was at.
Yeah.
Being therapist now, I believe I try to be more proactive towards, if I think she could benefit from it, I go ahead and do it without asking.
Yeah.
I try to take certain things off the plate, or, we were talking about how we're 6 years this past January. Just now, after 5 years being married, the aha moment of, let me fill her bucket of love language without expectation of reciprocity. And it ended up being the best. I call it the Pride is the Devil campaign. And I'm not saying this is for
the
Pride is the Devil campaign, like J. Cole's song.
Yeah.
Pride is the devil, you know what I mean? And the reason I say that is because, like I said, I feel like I'm super califragilistic. I got that SPL dope shit, you know what I mean? And so I feel like for a while I was like, yo, I'm out here getting attention in the world.
I'll say it. Why you don't want me when other people want me? You should want me. Why I gotta always chase you? Do you not know who you got?
I didn't use those words.
That's
because he's been an athlete his whole life, because he's always been a star always been a star.
I'm not a
so
star.
to come home.
Somebody lied.
You caught that. You're not a star.
Anyway, so to come home and hear me be like, critiquing, like, hey, you could do better here, or hey, this is not good here, or hey, I don't like that. It's like, bitch, you know, all these bitches out here think that
These motherfuckers. But see,
they think I'm fucking God. Like, what's wrong with you?
But this is the thing about them, and this is what happened to myself. Like, people outside of your household, they see what you present. Now, them same women that might, I don't want to say worship, but like, I really like.
I wish that it was more men out here like you. Yeah. You know, you don't.
Them bitches.
No,
but them that wish it was more like me don't know me on a day-to-day. They don't know I wake up, be pacing at 4:30 in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning. They don't know that when I'm trying to create an idea, I'm fucking okay. They don't know that when I'm talking to you, I got a pace, and I don't mean I'm not paying attention to you. I'm moving. They don't know that when I'm about to do something that might become successful, right before that, I'm damn near in panic mode. Like my anxiety, like I'm getting up, and sometimes it's like, oh, come on, we gotta do this, we gotta do this. You don't see that. You only see the, hey, how you doing?
The show up.
I'm there. I'm not. So it's easy to keep that facade when it's like, you know, I only got to see you for a couple hours. Man. Behind the scenes.
They only see you on game day. They don't see you in practice.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that.
Practice.
I like that.
In mud and you're dirty and you got practice gear because you come in the game, your shit all nice, your cleats are clean, you spattered up, you
socks all white.
All your socks are white. It's easy to show up for the game, but that motherfucking practice, man. When you get burned 3 times on practice and you're like, okay, during the game, I know I can't do that shit. That, and I equate a lot of things to sports. And sports also, for me, is a gift and a curse because also in sports, your coaches are yelling at you. God damn, do this, da, 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 da. So I also had to realize sometimes I'm talking loud, but I'm just like, this is just me, but it comes off to another person as you yelling at me. And it's like, nah, that's praise. That's good game or good play or don't do that. Da, da, da. And then I got into the fire department, so it was paramilitary, so it's the same shit. So I have to consciously come down a few octaves in order to share. So somebody else that don't know that, I'm like, this motherfucker is crazy as shit, always yelling. It's like, I'd be like, I'm not mad. This is just how I talk. Because I was like that.
What you said right there is something that is so impactful. You consciously came to that for yourself of like where you need to be. I self-consciously recognize that I have a deep voice. I'm 6'3", 260.
Yeah.
I need not to stand over my wife.
Yes.
It's being that way. We've been to being therapists. We went to a lot of premarital counseling. And one of the best ones we went to was Engage Encounter. It's through the Catholic faith, right? Mm-hmm. And while they were talking to us, he said something. They always say, love your wife like Jesus loved the church. I heard that all the time in my first marriage. Love your wife like Jesus loved the church. I love this chick. I was kissing her ass. I'm giving her everything. But the father said something that was so profound to me that made me teary-eyed, turn over to Kendra and say, you know what? I apologize. Mm-hmm. He said, Christ was never aggressive with the church. And that hit me in my kidney. He said he was never aggressive with the church. He protected the church. He flipped over tables when you turned his house of prayer into a den of thieves, but he never was aggressive with the church. So love your wife like Jesus loved the church, and that made me. I still work on it. You know, I ain't walking on water. At the same time, I try to become self-conscious of, okay, instead of punching holes in the wall or, like I said.
I was going to say, let me clarify aggression, because aggression looks, I just had this conversation recently with someone close to me in my life. Aggression looks different for everybody.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, which, as I was explaining to this person, everybody has to come up with their aggression. By no means are we in an abusive relationship, but I take aggression as you decide to punch a hole in the wall. You really wanted to punch me, and I'm gonna take that as aggression. So you need to check yourself right now.
Yeah.
Don't stand 2 feet above, like 2 feet in front of me, and you 6'3". Because what you telling me is you want to squat up.
Literally. Yeah. So and that's how I feel about Daniel. And I was saying it to him. I was like, if I was a dude, I would be very similar to my father. And my father don't like nobody
nonsense.
loud talking him.
Your father's no
And
nonsense.
I would be like that. I wouldn't like that.
Yeah.
You don't have to talk to me that way. So in general, that would just be who I am. Even if we are like guy and guy, like it's not okay to me. We could talk and have a conversation without being men, like all of this over aggression and stuff. So I was like, you know, at times, like when he's loud, I feel like, oh, so you want to fight me? What's happening? Like you want to fight me? Like we about to get into an argument? What's going on? And I immediately get defensive, and he could really be only, like he said, being excited or
passionate.
Yep.
But I literally cannot hear it. And so we got to a place where we kept arguing about it. And he was like, that's just who I am. And I was like, well, when are you going to understand that who I am doesn't like it?
Yeah.
And so he was like, I keep asking you to change. Like, I keep asking you to be who you are for who I just am. And I'm like, yeah, I'm in a stage right now in our life where I allow everybody often in my life to be themselves and accept things. And I'm like, but right now, Patrice is just who Patrice is, and I don't like it, and I choose not to deal with it, and I choose not to have you in my life. So that's where I am. I'm like, I'm just going to start being Patrice because everybody else has been like, that's just who I am. Oh, well,
yeah, that motherfucker.
That's just who I am.
This phase, whew, man, it's taking some getting used to, but I understand. I truly understand that she has to get to this next phase. And I'm telling you, sometimes it'd be like,
because I've been so scared to make mistakes in my life. I'm so scared. You know my history, my parents and everything.
They were real strict.
It was very strict, and so being always trying to be like an A student, it didn't just start with school. It stopped. It's everything that I do. I want to always do my best. And so when other people show up so raw, and I appreciate that of Daniel, I really do.
Yeah, I'm raw as fuck.
He shows up so
everywhere.
At this moment, this is what I'm doing, and if I need to apologize, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I'm going to tiptoe in. I'm going to take my time. I'm going to scan the room, and I'm going to make the right decision all the time.
Yeah.
And now I'm giving myself the freedom to make mistakes.
Yeah.
Emotional expression.
Yeah.
So there's this. So my degree is in marriage and family therapy. My passion is really marriages, especially Black love, Black marriages. I love all marriages because marriages is where there's an automatic glory to God.
Yeah,
that's what God wanted for everyone.
Right.
Of course, because of slavery, I want us to win.
Yeah.
But I want everyone to win. But because of slavery, I really want us to win. There's a book called, it's by Hill Harper. It's called The Conversation. And he really talks about, again, how we as Black people have this disconnection to not be able to stay married.
Yeah, that book's downstairs. Yep.
But emotional, I forgot the word, expression. Thank you. Emotional expression. Me and Antoine have that similar issue, except Patrice. Antoine is more faring with you, and I may fare more because when I get passionate, when I get upset, I'm like, I feel like you should be able to feel everything that you feel. One day I'm crying. My son, unfortunately, my son knows to ask if they're happy tears or sad tears.
Passionate person, man.
I'm a passionate person. Yes.
Rocking everything.
Yes.
You fuck with me, I swear to God. I'll leave all this shit right now.
Yes. Excited, sad, happy, mad, all of it. I believe, even though I came from a background very similar to yours, I believe as me to be my authentic self, I should be able to feel everything I feel with no qualms, period, point blank. And Antoine comes from more of a, I can feel these things, but I don't have to express them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's literally like, okay, so
oh my God.
You look at y'all and it's just like, bloop. I'm super passionate.
He's like, you're not worried about this? Yeah, I am. But
yes. Do you not care?
She literally has asked me that before in the middle of the night. do you not care? And I'm like,
She's like,
do we need to go to the emergency room and call the police? No. Okay, wake me up.
Yo,
I'm like, does it change anything if I run around?
you can both run around in circles.
Will it change what is about to happen? And honestly, when I sit back and think about a lot of the shit that come about, I think I'm more so frustrated too for myself because I already saw it happening.
Yeah.
So I'm already like, bitch, I told you that shit was about to happen 4 months ago. Now you sitting here acting surprised.
Now, now you've been there.
I've already experienced those emotions. And then because of go ahead, brother.
Incident like that. And what she told me 4 months ago, probably about 6 months ago, I said, man, fuck that shit. I don't do this. I don't give a fuck. No. Now, 6 months later, we're in what we already knew was going to happen.
Like, why are you surprised?
I'm like, man, these motherfuckers, this shit.
They fucking with me. No.
You knew this was going to be the results of what you did.
It was you.
You didn't prepare yourself. And I was just like,
See it on the flip of that, because I think that's females being able to be more future oriented. I'm still the person that knew it was coming. I told you about it. I'm doomsday, and he's like, okay, the sky is falling. Dismisses me. Then 6 months later, he's like, oh, what happened? And now I got to do it again because I'm like, I told you. So where you're like, oh,
I'm super.
I mean, I knew it was happening. No, because again, I emotionally want to express myself.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna whirlwind around here again.
Oh, so
because I told you.
Do this again. Yeah. I'll tell you exactly how I felt the first time.
Yeah,
it's so cool that you guys are both like, your profession actually, like, understanding your profession is one thing, but with your profession, both of you, you could take what you've learned and literally apply it to your own lives. So you kind of like got a cheat code to how to deal with issues and problems that most people really don't genuinely have. And that's why I think it's important to show this, because you can be.
What I will say is we have a cheat code that everybody has access to though, because even though, again, going back to those tools, you are not a handyman.
Right.
Just because you got the tools in the house don't mean that you're going to build the house.
Yeah.
You got the tools in the house, but until we have that mediator or non-elevated person helping orchestrate that. Yeah. So the only cheat code we have is to know when we can get to therapy, like couples therapy, before it's volatile. A lot of times therapists, a therapist just went viral about couples therapy recently on Twitter, talking about how toxic relationships usually get before they actually go looking, versus doing it. The only cheat code I feel like we have is that we approach it as a maintenance. Yeah. I'm gonna go get my oil change. I'm not gonna wait until my car is stuttering doing this.
That's
she knows every 3 to 6,000 miles. Kendra has a great quote that she tells people when they ask her about therapy. She's like, when you get an oil change on your car for maintenance to make sure your car continues to function, get that emotional oil change.
Wow.
You go get a physical for your body.
You know what I mean? Get that emotional oil change. You need it even more because not only is emotions, it's also mental as well. They both go hand in hand. And so I think what you're saying that's exactly what I was going to say. Thank you. Is that it's not necessarily we have a cheat code because we go to therapy. Yeah. You know what I mean? We've been to couples therapy. We've been to sexual therapy. We've been to all those different therapies with different therapists and and that's couples, and we have separate therapy as well.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Individual, you know, and is to keep those emotions to a point where we can continue to grow with each other. Because if one individual feels like one person is overworking the other, resentment is going to come eventually. And then with that resentment comes negative thoughts, and negative thoughts lead to negative actions.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And so that therapy helps be a mediator, as Kendra said, to help us have a better understanding of what she's coming from. Like, I feel like with our infant, I'm a little bit more helpful and mindful of what postpartum looked like before, you know? And so now I'm asking her, what you need? What can I do? Yeah. What makes you happy? All right, I'm gonna take care of this. I know with this and that, I could go ahead and do that.
What is that?
Nothing makes me happy.
That was a thing at one time. Kendra asked me in my life, was there ever one time I ever thought about leaving a relationship? I said it was only one time I thought about that because I felt like I couldn't make you happy. And I'm a pleaser. You know what I mean? And so me not being able to please her was breaking me down.
Drive you crazy.
It was not just driving me crazy, bro. Literally to my point of emotions where I'm tearing up at different times. Like, yo, I'm trying to please you, and nothing I'm doing. I don't care if it's flowers. I don't care if it's laundry. I don't care if it's dishes. I don't care if it's a bag or if I'm just giving you cash. You're not happy. It wasn't because she wasn't happy with what I'm doing for her. It's because of that state of the postpartum at that moment. It was going whatever it was doing. I'm not a doctor. You know what I mean?
So the postpartum thing, like, I don't think we touch on postpartum depression enough.
No, because most people think it's depression. It could be anxiety. So for me, mine should really be called postpartum anxiety. And I gave recently my mom a snippet of what that looked like for me, and you could just tell like it was overwhelming for her. And what I said is like, got 2 sons, a 4-year-old and a baby. For me, my thoughts begin to race, and that becomes so exhausting, especially if this is going on 24/7. No, nothing's making me happy. Can you shut down my brain? No, you can't. So no, you can't make me happy. So the example is I put my 4-year-old and the 5-month-old in the bathtub. The 5-month-old is literally trying to drown himself. So now I'm like, oh my God, he's gonna drown. Oh my God, my husband's gonna leave me because I killed my kid. I wonder how long I would be depressed if I killed my kid. My 4-year-old is gonna be fucked up because he's gotta tell his whole life that I killed his brother in the tub with him.
That snowball just turned into a big avalanche going down the hill.
And that only took less than a minute. That was all my thoughts in less than a minute. So now I pull him out the tub, and now something else happens, and I've gone through that. Now I'm going downstairs to make them dinner. What if I fall down the steps? Would I break my neck? Would he break his neck? Would somebody be able to come? How would Antoine feel if he walked in and saw us downstairs? Like, would we be dead? Would I live?
So that's considered anxiety.
That's anxiety. Ooh. But it's a postpartum anxiety. So, and again, anxiety and depression are 2 different categories, but they live in the same household. Because again, if you're they just exhibit in different rooms. Because if you're constantly having that, you're gonna feel you're gonna get sad.
Wow.
Damn it. Shut up.
I was watching this other couple's podcast. It's so weird. It's the second time this week that I was able to relate to what anxiety means and how I definitely suffer from anxiety. Because of both of y'all said the same thing, which is not being able to stop your thoughts, and your thoughts keep going, and
that's the separation.
That's over the thought. And even in the last 2 weeks, I've been telling Daniel, I've been telling you this. I said I've been having weird sleep because I would have this repeated thought all night. So I'm not really resting because it's this repeated. Don't forget. Don't do. Oh yeah. All night, and I'm like, what the fuck? I can't rest because of this thought, and I'm realizing I might suffer from anxiety.
Oh, that is so big of you.
Well, I suffer from it outside of postpartum. Again, it just manifests differently in postpartum because it's directed around my children. It usually is directed from the children, and then it just spirals. But I have anxiety before, and to throw Antoine under the bus. So when he was going through his reverse his internship, he was in our field. You have to have a certain amount of direct hours. They don't care what happened. This is what you need, and this is when you need it by. If you graduate on May 10th, you better have your hours in April. Period. Point blank. We don't care. I don't care that your mama died.
Yeah.
Sorry for you.
Yeah.
So he was at that very end, and he's scraping by. If this client cancels, he may not make it. So he's getting real nervous. He's pacing at night, and I remember having to look up at him and really trying to empathize. I could empathize with him, but really letting him know from my point of view, this is what I live every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
I said, this has been
Yeah.
me my whole life.
Wow.
And he said it was a very humbling experience for him because his had an end date.
Yeah.
Mine does not. I've just learned to live with it.
And the thing is, the crazy thing is, we both suffer from, like, it's both of us. Daniel's is outward, mine's is inward. So he's saying all of those racing thoughts out loud. Because all of mine's are silent. So that goes back to what we were saying. Like, he expresses all of his emotions.
I process outside.
And all of mine.
Yeah, your outside processor.
Really. And he like, I just want to know. And I'm like, I cannot, because what I realized is, if I express that first emotion that comes up, we're going to end up in an argument because I didn't get a chance to walk myself through the thought to really be like, okay, so my initial thought is, this motherfucker playing with me. So I can't come that thought first. And so now I'm ready to fight. And then it's like, okay, no, he's not playing with you. It was this, it was that, it was this. Now, how can you say this to him? So also the anxiety and also trying to be perfect. So now how can you say this to him in hopes that he hears you and he's not offended? So I'm dealing with all of that. And meanwhile, he's like, what's going on with you? I see that there's something wrong. What's going on?
That's so funny because that happens here. And it goes back to learning that communication and setting those expectations, as much as it sounds dumb, but setting like just the baseline of like, these are the rules of engagement for this. This is the rules for our argument. So an example, going back to that outward, I will say the first thing. So I've told Antoine he's ruined my life before during this, 2-year gray area. Again, sensitive soul, he still brings that up sometimes.
Yahweh.
Lasting effects.
I pray for him, man. Call his name.
So I've had to literally go into another room, call someone that a key to all of this, the cheat code would only be, we have the knowledge of stuff, the insight of not everybody can be that person.
Yeah.
Realistically, just to be transparent with you, and I'm about to call her out. It's one of his cousins, because I know at the end of the day, and when I told her I wanted her to be that for me, you're gonna be related to him forever. You ain't gonna let him go. So whatever I tell you, it may surprise you, but your love doesn't change for him. Versus if I go to my mom, if I go to my brother may show up and want to fight him,
Yeah.
So I had to assign someone that was responsible enough to be able to take that information and it not be
and still love me.
Yes.
That's actually powerful, because
so me and her are extremely close, and she's somebody that I call in that moment, and in that moment I go off. So one of our rules of engagement is we are not allowed to say we are getting a divorce.
Ooh.
We do not use that. That is a rule that we don't do that. Ooh. Also, right, Antoine, when he says not right now or nothing, even though nothing is a lie, and I'm still learning how to do this, I have to walk away. Now, usually when I walk away, I'm having the conversation with myself of, why can't he talk? He's such a liar.
Because like how you feel, Daniel, she's very passionate. And so it would be something where she's like, nah, we need to talk right now. I see what you're going through because I'm very visible about how I'm feeling. At the same time, like what you said, Patrice, I'm going through my thoughts and I'm picking out what needs to be expressed or what I can handle on my own.
Yeah.
And what I give to you, this is what I need help for, because I say all the time, I'm not crying wolf. So when you know that I express something, I want you to take it for face value. And some of the things that we're big on is like, Kendra will say to me, I don't need you to solve this. I just want to talk to you. Wow. That helped me tremendously because I'm seeing her going through something. I'm trying, you going through this? All right, we can do this and that. Check that off. What's next? Check that off. What's next? She didn't need that. She just needed to talk to me. I'm an
emotional person. I just want emotional. I just want an emotion.
Yes. And then also because I'm a divorcee, we don't say it as, I don't have to say it as much now, but what I used to say when I had a problem, I don't want to leave, though I did not like this and that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't want a divorce. I'm not trying to leave you. I'm not thinking about this and that, but this caused me to feel this way and that way. You know what I mean? And I would express it and be so transparent that I'm upset with what you said last night, though at the same time, I don't want to go nowhere, but understand I feel some type of way.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And so being able to say that and express that has helped our communication, in which once communication increased, the love increased. You know what I mean? Like we have something that we call a best friend moment that I do.
Mm-hmm.
I started off with Lola and I had with all my female friends. You know what I mean? And the best friend moment is an opportunity for me. She acknowledges that. I say to her, baby, perfect example. I love to tell this story. You see how she rolled her eyes, Daniel. So when we were dating, right? We was down North Carolina.
We were committed.
We were committed.
We were committed.
Excuse me, there's a difference. Thank you. We were
For
committed.
working definitions in this conversation, we were committed.
We were committed. We were on our way from North Carolina. She was down there for one of her sorors bachelorette party or something like that. And so we're on our way back to DC from North Carolina. You know what I mean? You know, DC dudes, you know, I got my whole little sweatpants outfit looking sweet for travel, you know what I mean? And my wife was just chilling. You know, she got
I look like a bum.
She got a
I don't
rollers
have
in
rollers
here.
in, but I do have the Dollar Tree flip flops on.
Back in the day, right?
You might miss that fucking. Bloop.
Oh yeah, it's gone. It's gone. If she trips up, there's no more flip flop.
You step on the rock, you feeling all of that.
You feeling all that, right? So I'm like, let's stop at the outlets real quick and check some things out. She look at me like, you over here looking fresh, and you want me around the outlets looking all bummy, this and that. I'm like, look, let's stop at the outlets and try and see some things real quick. Yeah. So she is having a problem. I'm going in from store to store. She got her arms folded up, just standing behind me. I'm asking, what you think about this shirt, baby? It's all right, but you got me in the store. Yeah. So I'm like, all right. So finally I stopped playing with her. I'm like, best friend moment. She had to recognize, she acknowledged it. Best friend moment. So the best friend moment gives me the opportunity to say to her what I need to say without trying to filter it. Without consequence. I need to because I realized I was raised by women. Whoa. Girls can say to each other, excuse me, bitch, you was tripping.
Right.
And she'll say, you know what, bitch, you right. I was tripping. But if I say to her, bitch, you tripping, who you calling a bitch? Yeah. You know what I mean? Real quick, right? Yeah. And so whatever I need to say is already clouded because I had the introduction wrong.
Yeah. So that's
the best friend moment.
Yeah, that's really interesting because she really is she is my closest friend. And we do that. She called me nigga, I say bitch, blah, blah, blah. And we do that, but we have that understanding. And I don't know, some people might look at them like, man, you call your wife a bitch. It's like, no, we are actually best friends. Like we are
best friends.
Cool. Like, she's like, nigga, stop playing with me. Da, 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 da. It's like that's our communication isn't always you got to communicate when things are bad. Communication is also how do you two communicate? Not
exactly.
You do. How do you? And if you guys have an understanding of what that means, then fuck with anybody else goddamn thing.
Exactly.
You should be able to be open and transparent and honest with your communication with your friend. You know what I mean?
With your best friend. So I told her like best friend moment. We're here just so we could go look at some engagement rings. Yeah. All of a sudden she didn't give a fuck what she had on. You gonna look at some rings? Yay! I said, you know what, best friend moment? You've been acting like such a bitch this whole time where I just been trying to get you indirectly into the diamond store to get at some rings. I just wanted you to get your ring size and all that else to see what you like. Then I can know what to get you.
I'll take these rollers out real quick. All right.
Right. But that best friend moment gave me a soft place immediately to land of what I need to express to her that, look, I'm trying to do something. Because honestly, if I didn't have that best friend moment, the day might have been ruined. And I wouldn't even went because she was giving me attitude. And in my mind, I'm thinking, I'm trying to drop some money for a ring for you. Yeah. And you're upset that we're walking around this outlet not knowing I'm about to put a carrot on your hand. But you know what I mean?
And you feel a certain type of way. So it's like, and also being from DC, we were, and you're from North Carolina?
Yeah.
Germany.
Okay.
I'm a military brat. I'm born in Germany. I claim North Carolina.
I got a foreign.
I have German blood in me. I do.
She does.
My grandfather looked it up.
Yeah.
Two black Germans at the same place at the same time. We didn't see that.
You see, like we were raised on, and I guess a lot of times it's also cultural, right? We were raised on we are one, madness, hobo. We always wear something. We're not
right.
And when we out, we put on some good shit. We put on some fly shit. But when we just doing some regular shit, most DC dudes, we literally throw some New Balance on and some sweats and call it a day. And it might look like it, but we are really looking at it like, oh, we chilling. We just, that's just this.
That's such the truth because it was just a sweatpants outfit. But even Kendra say when we go in the Safeway, she's like, why do you look like you're going to a music festival? You're just going to Safeway. I'm like,
cultural.
I mean, you know what I mean? You never know who you want to see. You know what I mean? When I see your ex, I want him, I'm flexing on him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The DC dudes is interesting because like when you flexing, but you're not flexing. Like I got
At the same time, right?
There's definitely a culture. There is a nuance here that I had to learn very
Yeah.
quickly.
so
I
that's
see Kendra, and I'm from DC.
you wasn't allowed to be outside, so it's different.
There's a difference. I'm about to say your parents kept you on a tight leash, so it's a little bit different.
Girl.
I know for a fact if she was outside when we were younger, me and her wouldn't have been together.
No,
she
we wouldn't.
She wouldn't have liked me.
We wouldn't be
She wouldn't have liked me at all.
Yeah.
We talk about that too. That if we had to meet when we did, because we would not. He wouldn't have looked my way in high school. College, we would have bumped heads.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
In
That's
college.
thing for real. Like, especially in high school, I would not have
Yeah, not that nigga. That nigga was wild.
talked to him. He would have got on my nerves.
Yeah, I was a wild.
Yeah, we probably would have fucked, but
Definitely.
I told you honestly.
he in college for real. Like, he was only supposed to be my thing. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
be my thing while I went and got married to a husband. And so
I understand.
I looked at her in her eyes one of them times and it was done. Yeah, don't you look at me in my eyes like that, nigga. This is not-
what the fuck you looking at me like this for? What's going on?
No, we talk about that all the time. I was like, had I known, even though it wouldn't have turned out this way, had I known, we would have ended up like this. Because he'll use what we talked about in the first 3 years, the so-and-so, and because even in the so-and-so, it was very bleak that I was like, this is not going to turn out to anything. Because obviously, who does this and actually marries the person? No one.
Facts.
No one.
Literally.
But no one.
Literally.
But for me, it was like, I'm not about to sit here and not have fun if the person I just dropped, like I dropped somebody, so I'm gonna go back. I mean, why not?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of frank conversations that, like an example, we joke because he'll be like, yeah, I was a lame. Lies. I know exactly what you did because we talked about it.
I tried to tell I was a lame back in the day, and I'm so appreciative that God blessed me with a woman that wants to love me. You know what I mean? Because back in the day, I couldn't buy attention.
Take that,
Well,
Yahweh.
just in case God strikes him down. I don't want to be hit.
Line up a storm.
I don't know if y'all ever watched Grown-ups and Blackish, because there was a point when we were talking about just communication and missing nuances that they were trying to do stuff for each other and completely missed it because of that lack of communication. But on Grownish, there was an episode recently, pandemic, we learned how to binge watch things.
Yeah.
Pandemic, the girl had messed around, Chloe.
Yeah.
Chloe had messed around with a track guy, and then she's got her ex-boyfriend / boo thing, and they're walking together. And I said, not thinking about it, you don't mess on the same campus. And he was like, oh, that's what we do? That's what we do? I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, I wouldn't know.
Oh, man.
Agree.
like she broke rule number 1. Like,
Literally, not in the same circle.
not like they can't accidentally eat lunch together ever.
We ain't getting through this.
Oh, and through the agenda.
Say what?
I said we ain't getting through the agenda. Good conversation.
Oh, we didn't even do. That's so crazy. We didn't even do the icebreaker or anything.
but it was just
Oh
good.
yeah.
Jump right into it.
Conversation.
But this is
We did love story. We
This was
did.
because you're speaking about best friends, right? How do you guys feel? And Roscoe and Treese, you guys are friends. All right.
Mhm.
How do you like? Because this is new for us, having not really new, but like done the right way.
Mhm.
Because I've always had a whole bunch of fucking female friends, and sometimes the relationships weren't how they should have been, and sometimes they are just strictly female friends, but because my fear of jealousy or what she may think, I would hide the relationships kind of. But now we like open and honest, and from what you guys know from your profession and from your personal selves, how do you feel about having friends of the opposite sex? Because that's really tough for a lot of relationships and a lot of marriages as well.
So I'm gonna answer twice.
You on a roll? Go ahead.
Yes, I
Hey, where'd y'all order that microphone for? She need one in front of her.
Look, usually he's the big personality, but because this is like my passion piece, I'll step it up more. He's like, but I
love it.
I will let you say personally, but I'm gonna say professionally.
Yeah,
because this is what I do. I actually
She's licensed in multiple states.
I actually literally just had this conversation this week, to be honest, with a young lady that's in a relationship and was going over their comfortability with opposite sex. And they both agreed that they would not have it. And professionally, it is whatever you feel comfortable with. Both people have to come to an agreement and be comfortable with that. Communication is key. It is what you're comfortable with and what, but again, going back to honesty communication, because I can't say what we do personally is going to work for everybody else.
True.
It is what is going to work. Marriage is not a fits all at all. That's what I tell people all the time.
Yeah.
Your marriage has to work for you, so you have to work it the way you need to work it. So that's going to look very different
The purpose of this
for
show.
everybody.
Yep.
But personally, and you can kick it off from there. See, there we go. I left room for you.
So personally, Kendra said something to me because I've been deemed a flirt. You know what I mean? I don't mind that at all. And so she said something to me, especially I had to be mindful. She's moving from North Carolina into DC.
Right.
I went to school here. I went to 2 elementary, 2 junior high, 2 high schools. The only one school I went to was my undergrad and my master's. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of people, a lot of interactions of different individuals. You know what I mean? And so Kendra said something to me that was so profound that I couldn't deny it. She said, it's okay. Because I said to myself, after having that first marriage, there's only 2 genders, only 2 species on the earth, male or female, you know what I mean, at the time when we had this conversation. And so
it's facts.
at that time, you know what I mean, I was like, I know females, you know what I mean, know you know what I mean, I know other individuals that I went to high school that were good friends and, you know, platonic. And I said, you know what, I'm not going to be afraid of being around females because of insecurities that my mate has.
Right.
That's how my first marriage was. And then during my first marriage, I was doing radio for Radio 1. And so therefore I was interacting with a lot of people. So I was being accused of a lot of stuff because of insecurities, and there's nowhere near it. But what Kendra said was, how can a female be a friend of you and not know me?
Yep.
Yeah, and I think that's where in the past, that's where I was like, it would be like, okay, I'm just, you know, I would go out, hang out with the bar, and I'm flirtatious too. I'm flirtatious. I like attention from the opposite sex, and I'm able to say that now. And now that I can call that out, I can see it when it's happening. It's like, okay, it's just how far am I going with it? You know what I mean? Like, how far am I going with it? Okay, why do I feel this way? And what I told Patrice was, you know, I need to feel desired as a man, right? So in our first marriage, it was the same. I would have these relationships, and a lot of times I would have these relationships because if I'm arguing with you in the house all day long, I do like the opposite sex. I sometimes just want a relationship where it could be a regular shit. We ain't arguing about bills. We ain't arguing about the kids.
Safe place.
You know, it's like, yeah, it's a safe space, but then sometimes that safe space can become blurred because now that's the person that when you really, really going through shit with, it's just like,
Now they stepped into a different role. I definitely would say personally, especially like I have outside of my wife, I have a best friend who's become one of her closest friends. We were correctional officers together at DYRS. And I tell people like, yeah, y'all are best friends and y'all were working 5 years together. This is my homie, because anybody that pulls other dudes off of me trying to fight me, you get in the HOV lane in friendship with me. She never ran. She always like, nah, y'all ain't gonna jump Roscoe and be in there in the thick of thin with me. You know what I mean? And this is my girl. And so the funny story about it is when Kendra first met her, she shook her hand and it walked away from her ass. But because I I presented it as what Kendra says as some old lady who I befriended. But when she walked up, she was a young lady. Yes. You see, she's quiet now. But she loves it.
My female friends look pretty. They look good to the eye as well. I don't know what that is. It's just
No, well, attractive people attract people.
Attractive people, yes.
I
Yeah,
said the same thing,
yeah.
and I really hate the way that in this particular conversation about having friends from the opposite sex, how esteem or jealousy is thrown in there as if there's an insecurity, like as if I only am accepting of a friend of yours if they like ugly or something like that. All of my friends are beautiful. I don't hang around nothing but like attractive people. So why would I expect, like you said, attractive people attract, and whatever attraction is for you.
Right.
So why
right.
for someone that you want to be engaged with in conversation not to be attractive? My problem comes in when my intuition is ignored, because I'm saying to you, oh, that's a cute relationship, but she's just waiting. Women are patient. She's just waiting.
No, that's not how she
She's
says
just
it.
waiting.
That's not how she says it. I'm tell you how she says it. That sounded beautiful. She's like,
exactly how
she
I
be
say
like,
it.
no, but
That's
you say
exactly how I say it. The first time you don't hear
okay,
it.
the first time.
Now when I say it the fifth time, it's about to be what you say. What did I
She
say?
be like,
this is number
yeah,
5.
y'all are friends and it's cool, and you just don't be caught with your fucking when y'all just sitting around talking, and then she got your dick in her mouth, and I'm like, oh, whoa.
Because sometimes people just slip up and fall on it.
This oil slick over here. So I got.
Looks like we in full blown head.
So I got two things with that. Like, again, what you were saying, and that's where I think the why issue is. It's not necessarily, again, the attractiveness or insecurity. It's the why. It's the heart of the matter as to why you need those friends.
Yeah.
When you say like, oh, I don't want to do this arguing, so it's just nice to have this thing outside of it, it starts to look like a parachute. Antoine was guilty of that.
Whoa.
And for me, I told him, why would I invest my whole life why would I get into this, again, marriage? I am now making a covenant between you, me, and God, and it's me, you against the world, but you got a fucking parachute. I'm gonna fall out the plane and die. What the fuck? You got a parachute. Why am I going to invest my everything and you got fucking parachutes?
Wow.
They look like fucking parachutes to me because they're taking in the stuff that, quote unquote, I've irritated you with, versus you can have female friends, you can have male friends. Like an example, Antoine has not met one of my male friends that I have known since college. And I've told Antoine this is the one dude that kind of kept me safe when I was, being a drunkard. Like, he held my hair back, he saw me naked, and he hasn't met him yet, but he is willing to meet him. He does like 8 million tours. He actually
active military.
He likes
He's
combat.
always over there. Yeah.
So he hasn't met him, but like when I reconnected with him a few years ago, he has a daughter. I was like, as soon as we get back to North Carolina, then the pandemic hit. But he's willing to come to dinner with us. Boop de boop de boop. Again, but the why is I don't call him when me and him are going through it. Again, going back to it's the relative.
Yeah.
Because now I'm giving somebody something that now creates this sense of security of, if this does not work out,
yep,
I got a backup plan.
Yeah, but I don't look at it like a backup plan. I look at it like most of them I wouldn't even be with. They're there.
But perception. Does she see it that way?
Yeah. No, she don't see it that way. But I'm saying, like, for me, it's like, and I don't think the friends are like, man, my wife doing this. I never talk bad about my wife to the opposite sex, because I know what that does. Like, I never will bash her to, and some of the female friends, they'll fucking be talking about this.
But women are perceptive too, because Antoine had a girlfriend between me and his wife. And I know exactly when they hit left, and he never talked bad about her, but I know when they hit left because we're perceptive.
Exactly. So I know that now these phone calls are picking up because this must be something going on in your life. You ain't got to tell me. It's just obvious. You ain't got to talk bad about her. I can sense your need.
Yeah, the way you move. We're behavioralists. So, but
Yes.
girls are natural born behavioralists. And as you raise your hand, because I'm about to throw you under the bus again, go ahead and bloop bloop. Yeah.
That's all raised my hand.
Yes, I raised his hand, but I'm gonna ignore it.
Steve proactive.
Yes,
I
yes.
raised it early too.
Because I'm gonna jump on this one.
Yeah.
One of the things he did was I believe that he truly believed that this was just a homie, but she was not in the homie role.
Uh-huh.
She called when I had a very weird schedule when we were dating. When we were committed. I worked early 2 days and I got off very late the next 2 days, and then I was off 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
On the days that I worked late, they talking. Again, going back to the recovering crazy, I went through the phone and I printed off the call log and I highlighted it.
Not on my phone through Verizon.com.
I did that through Sprint.com. Mm-hmm.
So to get a pattern of behavior,
Yep.
how she know on Tuesdays and Thursdays I'm not home?
Yep.
How she know to stop calling at 2:00 on Monday and Wednesday?
Stop it. Don't even nothing.
Nah, I'm saying because we've been through that too. Because like my schedule.
Oh, it still is currently like that, and I just laugh because I feel like and I feel like those people have been invited into our lives and denied access to come in because it is not a real friendship. It's not. I'm inviting you to come sit with me and break bread to essentially better your relationship so it ain't gotta be in the dark. You could actually get more access to him if we sit down and talk. But
Ding ding.
But that's actually what happened with my homegirl who was my partner. They are besties. Like she checks me and everything, and me and her could still go to happy hour.
Yeah,
Kendra
now
know.
she has more access to him
Like she
than
caught
she
a-
could ever.
She called a
have
mouse
before.
and she called Kendra was like, "Hey, send Antoine over here, get this mouse out of my house."
No, she didn't even call
But
me.
she called me first, yeah, and I called Kendra. And Kendra was like, "Cool," but I have a different perception of from the male aspect of
Real
when
quick,
this happened.
one other thing, real quick.
I want to hear the mail.
No, I'm gonna get it Antoine real quick after this.
I raised my hand and everything.
The other thing I said to Daniel too, in reference to these young ladies as well, is that you have to release them because they deserve to find happiness. And if they're always leaning on you and you're this invisible man for them, they don't even realize how many relationships they are fucking up for themselves, and you are fucking up for them because
anybody that's worth them having around is going to see that and be like, I am not with the mess. Good day.
And even though it's nothing, but
Even though it's nothing, but again, roles reversed, I'm not about to sit here and entertain somebody that's got this person in their pocket. Like,
I before I say what I was going to say, to that point, I was this happened while we were in the dating phase. You know, I'm clear to always put a time frame in which certain situations. That's the story I'm about to say.
Oh, okay.
The story I'm about to say was in the dating phase. I was told that I'm inhibiting them from being with other men.
Boom.
And
I'm inhibiting them.
I'm inhibiting them from being with other men. And I didn't like it because I was just being a friend. We weren't doing nothing like that. But what was going on was that she was always comparing the guy she was dating to what I was doing. And like that goes back to your point before. My friendship was a fantasy in a sense that you're not getting the deep emotions of paying bills together. Mm-hmm. What are we doing for the kids? Daycare shut down today. Who's going to call out today rather than going into work? You know, all the real stress of a relationship. You're just getting a friendship of always, you good? Let's go get a drink. You need somebody to cry on the shoulder? Here you go. All right, I got extra shirt. Get the snot on out. And then I'm back home. So that's the fantasy of this dude. Yeah, you know what I mean? This dude is awesome. But then the reality is like, yo, that's not me emotionally. You know what I mean? To be in love with me is I tell people all the time, my 20% is hot lava, but my 80 is heavenly. You know what I mean? But a lot of people as a friend only get that 80.
Put that shit on a t-shirt. I'm 20.
You know what I mean? Because a lot of people as friendships only get that 80%.
Yeah.
Compared to a relationship does get that 20%.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I felt that before where I've been told I'm inhibiting people from relationships because they're comparing them or they having a bad date when we was in that dating phase, they can cut that date off and just go have a drink with me and finish their night off, not even on some physical stuff, but just on a mental and emotional high of having fun. And that was stopping them from.
Because you really don't love them and really fuck with them, like you say, you're using them. Because if you really love them, you would love them enough to let them go. So when you stop using these women and actually allow them to be the best that they could be, their lives will improve. But you know what you're doing, like, and it's not fair to them, and it's not fair. It's really not fair to them, because they deserve to experience life not having you as their parachute to always fall back on when shit get rough in another relationship. And it's
I never understood the term. I never heard the term parachute, but I've definitely been I've been motherfucking close.
It's parachute is only a backup plan.
Yeah, but you know what you said, an interesting point. You're only getting 20% of me. Like I never thought about it like that. My 20% is easy. It's fucking easy going. My 80%, you're gonna have to deal with me. Like
right. You know what I mean?
I'm fucking OCD. Like my shit gotta be a certain way.
Very controlling.
Like my wife knows, Patrice knows. We went to high school together.
Yeah.
People really think Antoine's so cool. He's always relaxed. I'm really a silly string and an emotional being. But my defense mechanism is to walk around like I'm Billy D. Oh, how y'all doing, Antoine Rascal? Nice to do it. Having a good day? Good. I'm glad you're having a good day. If you need something, let me know. Right. Low-key inside, I'm going through it. You know what I mean? And so
I don't let nobody see it.
So here's
exactly.
Laughter and all of that. And so he wants to make everyone laugh. But like you said, the reality is he's going through a lot internally, but he'll show up with the whole
it's all the way together. What I was going to say about the friendship aspect, we had a situation with a dude who Kendra used to work with, who I saw it a mile away. Game recognized game. You know what I mean? We see it, right? And so I think
but I'll be in denial for me.
I'm not in denial. I respect you when you point out stuff.
I just be like, watch it. Just watch.
And that's my point. Because what this guy, I told Kendra, like, and this dude was hitting on people she was associated with, you know, had intimacy with them and this and that. I was like, he likes you. She was like, he slept with this and that person. And boom, boom, boom. I said, baby, it's okay. He likes you. And the maturity in my state now, and men, I had to do this. I had to let her see it for herself. Mm-hmm. I couldn't be so much pressure on it that it caused friction between each other. Yeah. I let her see it for herself. And it took years for it to manifest.
Yeah, you got
it took years for it to manifest. And the way it manifested, I told her, like, dude wants you. I said, if you give it an opportunity, he would take it, baby. I said, trust, he would take it. And she was like, nah, I don't think I'm even his type. I said, baby, you're attractive. Attraction is everybody's type. You know what I mean? And so she was like, so dude, this is what happened. After we got married, everything happened, you know what I mean?
After we got married.
Go ahead, finish the story.
No, go ahead, but don't say after we got married, because I stopped talking to him before we got married. Continue.
When the situation occurred, what happened? She was like, yeah, we should all go have dinner, and you know, you could come and you know, be around Antoine, this and that. He was like, I don't think Antoine would like, you know what I mean, for me to be around this and that. And I immediately started laughing. You know, tell the story, baby. Tell the rest of it. How do you say it? Because you all had a conversation. I wasn't on the phone.
I don't remember this conversation. What I remember happening is I called you because he had a wife. All this, and he had a wife, and he was sleeping with our colleagues. All of this.
You don't go deep in it. Yeah.
One time his wife called. He was like, answer. I was like, for what? If you don't want to talk to her, why am I answering? Because we shared an office. So I answered. He's sitting there watching, and I'm like, no, not here. Can I take a message? She immediately texts him, she's disrespectful, blah, 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 blah. And he kind of laughs, and he's like, look. And I'm like, so I'm telling Antoine, like, hey, this happened. He was like, he likes you to be in that drama with him.
Ooh.
Yeah, because
So-
the reason she responded like that is because
Absolutely.
you've been, unbeknownst to you, you probably were a part of
I've
it.
been the scapegoat.
You've been in conversation in that household.
Yeah, you've been
Yes, you've been in a conversation in that household, and I saw that.
You was there.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
Yeah.
I had been the scapegoat. Going back to those happy hour parties, he was a part of them, but he was using my house as the where he's been when he wasn't there.
Wow.
Oh yeah, so you automatically associated with that shit.
Wow.
Right.
I was guilty. I was
She was
like
guilty
from her.
of
I was
association.
guilty. I was guilty.
I didn't even guilty by association. You just guilty by proximity. It's like
I'm guilty by proximity because it was my house, even though he wasn't even at my house. Like, you know, where he's like, oh yeah, I'm going to Kendra's. And then come to find out, he didn't show up to happy hour that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Not-
that's where quote unquote he was.
But at the time, she thought he was a friend. But as a guy, I saw it. I let her know that I saw it. You know what I mean? I saw the intentions, and I had let her see it for herself. I said, long as he isn't touching you, long as he's disrespectful, I would not intervene.
Yeah, and
But
that's
that also came.
Yep.
Yeah, but that also came in a state of confidence in me.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I was more confident to be able to allow her to cipher through that in her own time frame.
I think that's
Before,
is key to having friends of the opposite sex. You first have to be confident with yourself enough to be like, all right, I'm confident in myself to know that she can be around another guy that's attractive, might got more money than me, might got less, might have more charisma than me. It's hard to have more charisma than me, but you know, it's
I feel you, bro. I feel you. You know what I mean? It's certain. Oh,
you
Kennedy, Obama, and then then Jesus. You know what I
it's like, yes, there's Jesus, my father's greater than I, and so yeah, but you have to have confidence in yourself. So I won't even say allowed to be okay with your woman, because I don't feel like we don't own anybody. And like I had to tell you, we had to have a real serious conversation recently, and I was just like, look, let me tell you something, man. If I'm gonna fucking cheat on you, I'm gonna do it. It's literally stop it. You can't stop it.
Mm-hmm.
Whether I got $1 million or $2 or whatever, you cannot. You don't own anybody, and you can't control people. I think in relationships you can't control someone. You know what I mean? You have people that I know that have been friends of the opposite sex for 20 fucking years, and then they get married, and because the wife or the husband has a problem with the friend, whether it be, sometimes it could be from past trauma that didn't have nothing to do with the situation. You got to be confident in yourself to know I'm good enough for her to know she could be around another man, but she coming home to me at the end of the day, and I'm cool with that. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
But that also has a thing too. What am I doing to invest into my household?
Yeah.
A lot of these dudes don't like these opposite, or a lot of these individuals. I want to say it's just men. A lot of these individuals, yes, don't like the opposite sex friends, because sometimes it depends on how the mate is carrying the friendship. That does play a part, but also, like I said, I know what I'm doing when I'm coming home and what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we had a great example is one of our friends, couples that we were friends with. First time I was actually friends with the wife, working with the former co-workers. Kendra, when she met Kendra, she told me, Antoine, I choose Kendra. And me and the husband got real tight. You know what I mean? And so when we were going to the house the first time, I called Kendra. I have a thing where I bring flowers to the wife, a bottle to the husband. But I called Kendra because she's just not meeting this girl. Hey, how do you feel about me bringing some flowers? When I come over, I'm going to call you outside. You bring them in. And I got a bottle for the husband. Kendra said something that helped me out. She was like, you know what? Thank you for calling me. But also, you've made me feel confident in myself that I don't have to feel insecure by you displaying love to somebody of the opposite sex.
Wow.
Yeah, that's deep. That's deep, because that's deep.
What did you mean by that, Kendra? What did he do to make you feel confident in yourself? What did you mean by that statement?
Well, the confidence has to, again, going back to like making someone happy, confidence, that has to come within. It's more so, one, the conversation, again, going back to communication, but also that piece of respect. Like, you taking care of this place first versus, because I'm a dollar and cents person. So why are you spending money, not even just on the flowers, on the bottle, when we ain't good here? Because I could have used that bottle in Everyone Hates Chris's dad, could have paid for 2 packs of chicken.
Hey yo, and we had that conversation. Wow, that's crazy. We literally I was trying to explain to him it. Like for a minute, Daniel was thinking that I just didn't like him going out, right? Oh, you just don't want me to go out. I was like, no. I don't have a problem with you going out. I have the problem with the amount of money you spend when you go out.
I know, I'm
it's not an issue of going.
Look, y'all are very similar on that. Very similar.
Good time.
Right, and that's the part too. I'm like, if you gonna go out, or even if we go out, and you decide in the midst you feeling so good, you balling out, don't come home tomorrow when we wake up talking about, oh shit, what we gonna do with this? No. Keep that same energy up.
Yeah.
Keep that same. Because I'm not gonna now regret it because you already put it out there. So it was like this back and forth thing about going out, feeling in the moment, spending the money, and then coming home like, so I guess we're gonna eat oodles and noodles because I get paid on Friday. And it's like,
look, this is why I love God. Look, I love God because we still are a work in progress. That is still something. That is still the hill we are on right now.
But that's the realness that we're trying to show. Like this shit is not about
being done. It's continuous.
It's a verb.
Even the last show, we had to fucking reschedule because we was in the fucking heated argument that day. We was in a heated argument. I was like, man, I'm not doing no motherfucking show. Fuck. And all that shit. I don't give a no.
I don't know if Patrice told you when she texted that to Kendra now. I said, ain't that marriage? So let us know when y'all ready.
I appreciated y'all so much for that. And I think because we was together so young and we made so many mistakes of sharing conflict with everybody in our life, that now the people that we love, we understand why now they don't want to be a part of any conflict. So sometimes we feel alone, like we don't have anybody to share with that's not going to even take advantage of it. Like be it friendships and that female friend. Oh, see, I mean, this is how you was the last time you was with her, or family members that are like the fuck, or other like our close friends, and so
the judgment.
So saying that to y'all, and one, not getting silence.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like y'all had to think first.
Yeah.
I could tell that
we talked to each other before we responded.
I could feel that the immediate response was shit. Nigga. I get it. And that I really, really I appreciated that so much. And honestly, I feel like y'all response is what helped us to really get over that, because I was able to take back some of the work conversations that we had and like bring myself down to be like, this is not abnormal. I'm not alone in this. This is life. This is like all of these things. Like, and so I needed that in that moment. And I appreciate y'all so much.
This is therapeutic for us. Even talking to other couples, it's so therapeutic because what it does is let you know you're not on the island by yourself. Everybody
the devil will trick you into thinking you are.
That you're the only one that's going through this. Yes. And like you said, go ahead, brother.
No, you go ahead.
No, I was saying, like you said, communication is key for relationships and is key for growth, knowledge. You know what I mean? Generational wealth is not only just assets of what you're leaving behind financially, it's the tools of teaching. And look, this is what we're going. One of my favorite Christian movies is was it Fireproof or what's
Fireproof?
Yeah, when it was his mom who wrote the book, but the whole movie he thought his dad wrote the book, and she was showing how everything she went through and how she failed and how she messed up, and this and that. You know,
maybe I saw it. But I saw the movie. It was like how they was about to break up, and he was in the fire department. One of the old Christian movies. I think we watched it back.
No disrespect, I don't really like a lot of the Christian movies. Like
neither do I. I don't. Goodness knows, I do. I don't even like church people. And my mom's an elder and minister. You know what I mean? But I'm heavily spiritual. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I don't want to say I don't like church people. Other people say I don't like church people. No. I like individuals who go out and aren't afraid to go amongst the souls that want to be talked about Jesus and talk to him without judging.
So when I was in the church, and I hear, you know what I mean, and I don't want to get all spooky and shit, but When I was in the church, I was actually in my second marriage this time, and I was singing in the choir. I was really active in the church, and I was really young in it. But I was also going through my phase of consciousness at the same time. I was super conscious, and I was a hotep nigga, but I was going to church because my foundation has always been biblical. So I would find myself in these awkward spaces trying to fit in here, and they're like, "Oh, you listen to the white man's word," and then I'm over here, and it's like I understand where it comes from. I understand the depths of it. You know what I mean? I understand the esoteric nature of it. You know what I mean? Like within. That's how I know what it does for me. You know what I mean? I know the metaphysical side of the Bible. And I use that, and I still use the Bible as a tool of how I operate and how I govern myself accordingly. But what a lot of people don't realize is everybody's walk with God is individual. I don't judge you if you're a Muslim. I don't judge you if you are an atheist. I don't judge, but a lot of Christians, a lot of times, judge people so much because they will cut you off. And the whole word is about forgiveness, but they will cut you off completely if you don't think or operate how they operate. And it's not even that I don't like that. It's just like you have to just understand that. Damn, even for me, I don't want to say I'm above anybody because they're Christian, but I understand that's where you are right now, and I've probably been there. But like sometimes you have to elevate and understand that you can coexist. Because the first and original Christians were persecuted, they were killed. So if that's the case, this way wasn't the only way. You were a cult among some religions at the end of the day. So now to get to this position and judge people, you're now persecuting. You're now doing maybe not even physically, but mentally and spiritually, you're doing what was done to the original of people
because they're the majority, and that's over here. Like I have a friend or a coworker who is from Egypt, and they're still persecuted that way because in Egypt it's still an Islamic dominated religion. You know what I mean? And so they're still persecuted in the way that you speak of. But I definitely. But like you said, I don't want to necessarily turn this into a preaching sermon.
I love what Antoine says. I have no heaven or hell to put you in. Again, if God forgives us, are we above the righteousness of God? Because if he's forgiven, why are we not? Period. And that's kind of where I leave it. Again, I'm not going to jump in it because we had a whole debate to the point where I had to jump out of the conversation again, going back to awareness on the Will Smith, Chris Rock thing. Like, again, there's just so much judgment. And I'm like, I don't have a hell to put you in. I don't have a heaven or hell to put you in. I can't judge neither one of them. Yeah. I've done way worse for way less. Clearly, we talked about terrorizer. So it's like terrorize earlier, and I laughed about it. Yeah. Look, I'm not going to make an apology speech. Like
at all.
And it don't change the fact that my fucking phone bill is still due tomorrow.
Exactly, because they can pay mine times 3. unless they come in to pay mine, no, thank you.
That's another reason why we do this too, because it's more couples, and I think we said this on our live one. It's a lot more couples than Will and Jada and Jay-Z and Beyonce and those couples, and we have everyday couples among us that are doing things. You guys are doing great work in the community, and what you guys are doing. So why not spotlight people that are actually among us that we can talk to, we can reach out to, can probably help us in our everyday lives.
It would be realistic about their
that shop at the same grocery store as we do.
Yeah.
Community. That's what community is. Investing within yourself.
Iron sharpens iron, and we got iron all around us. But when you look at the superficial bullshit, because them celebrities, look, their life is a facade.
I mean, before the whole entanglement came out, we thought Will and Jada was so enlightened.
Yeah, everybody wanted to be on the Will and Jada thing, and then the entanglement came out. It was just like,
oh shit, what's going on here? That's part of the that's
but again, going back to what we said before, what works for them works for them. I can't say what's worked for them hasn't worked for them. Again, it is what it is.
Apparently, it helped them actually.
It probably did. Yeah, the worst times be the shit you. Our divorce literally is why we're able to be right here right now. Because I know for a fact where I was, I was just like, nigga, what? Just married, man.
Look, here I am. I'm gonna hop back on my soapbox. But again, all of this goes back to slavery because again, it goes back to that isolation of we then think we are unique in this situation versus we are as Black love going through this, but we have been taught generationally to isolate, to not let our vulnerable sides be there. As the man, I'm supposed to be the head. I can't show face that my house is crumbling because no one wants my house to be there. As a Black woman, we are the most underprotected. No, I got this. I can be strong. I can do this. Which I'm a shout out another book, Audre Lorde, The Master's Tools Will Never Dismantle the Master's House.
The Master's Tool will never dismantle the Master's house.
Audre Lorde.
Who is the author's name?
Audre Lorde, AUDRE LORDE.
All right, we're gonna put that in the
Hey yo, hey yo, that was a bar.
Yeah. But I think I like the way this. I like.
Let her finish out her thought.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. I
Go
thought
ahead.
she was finished.
Oh no, that was it. Like basically,
Can I finish out my thought?
You see how dramatic?
But no, I like how that all came full circle, man. And we had 2 hours.
Oh my gosh, y'all.
It's been such a
with
good
ease.
and we
My
want
phone over here blowing up. My client.
yeah, look, I saw the school pop up and I was like, Lord, please let my child be gotten on the bus.
my shit is on vibrator, so this I ain't even look because the conversation has been so good, and this is our passion project, and we appreciate y'all being a part of it. So we would like to invite y'all to the next live show we do, and thank you for being patient with us as we got through our thing, and yeah, would like to wrap it up and.
Yes, I'm back.
Okay. Oh no! The last question that we always ask. What would you tell your earlier selves in being together? If you would have known then what you know now, what would you tell your earlier selves regarding your relationship?
Okay, regarding the relationship.
Yeah.
I saw that question. You already know?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Don't look for a return. The more you invest, the more you get it on the back end of what you need.
Ooh.
That's good.
Ooh.
That's a fucking bar. That's how retirement plans work.
Ooh.
For the long game.
Yeah.
I was looking for the immediate investment. I was looking for immediate yields.
You said that earlier in this show, and I am not really fully able to grasp this right now. I'm gonna have to sit with it because it is really stirring me up. Really trying to think about how to. And the funny thing is, I'm okay with long-term investments. However, in this relationship,
she wants some options.
This investment. She gotta be immediate, and I'm realizing like what you saying that shit is really pricking me. That's pricking me so bad.
Have y'all read the 5 love languages?
Yeah.
I like all of them personally.
Yeah.
I want all of them.
Y'all are so like.
What is it? Gifts, quality time, words of affirmation,
touch,
acts of service.
I want all that shit.
Well, so he laughs because my number 1 is quality time, and then I tie for 3 for number 2.
Which is
so ultimately like 3 tie for number 2. So I mean, and then for him, his strongest love language is like the love language he shows the most that is gift giving, and you can throw that shit away. It could be the 4 love languages for me. Like throw that shit away. I don't need it.
I need the time. I need the touch.
Yeah. So for him, where he feels like I want to give the flowers, that is you pouring into me for you, not pouring into me for me.
Yeah.
And there's a difference.
I would say when you said about the long game investment of how it feels for right now, that's how I can get the most out of Kendra.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so investing into her, thinking about what demand she had from her youth and demand she had from other relationships, and then what they expected for her to give back so quickly, was only putting up defense mechanisms when I was doing the same thing, compared to once I realized, like I said, I just realized that in our 6-year of marriage, the first 5 years, I wanted that my return back because I'm giving this all. Why can't I get it back? I need this immediately. But once I realized I'm not going to where I want to be, we had this conversation. I said, I don't want to be nowhere else. I want to be with you. I don't want to divorce you. I want, yes, all that. I want to be here. So then I kept praying. I was being the change I wanted to see. I was just telling her I love you all the time without getting anything back. I was, for the physical touch, I was thinking like, yo, shawty, you don't want to touch me? Like, yo, like, come on, man. You don't want to, I'm 6 feet 260, shawty.
Yeah, look at me. I want to touch me.
You know, I want to touch me. You know, and yes, and yes.
I fuck me.
Yeah.
I felt that's Daniel's motto all the time.
But with that, I realized if I'm going to be in this relationship and I want to see the change, then I need to invest into this investment for me to yield what I want. And for me to invest into her is a long game, showing her, all right, well, let me be what I want you to be. I just, out of nowhere, turn her around and kiss her and then walk away. Not with the intent, because the pressure of, for me, let me kiss her down and now let's get it in right now, was so much pressure compared to the buildup of the flirtation as if we was in high school at the bus stop before her daddy got to the store. You know what I mean?
You tell me, treat me like I'm new pussy.
Yeah. That was my new statement. I said, like you know, like if you treat me like a nigga. I said if you treat me like new pussy, I'll treat you like you a new dick, and you gonna get all of that excitement,
all that flirtation,
stuff. So treat it like you don't know that what you're doing is going to actually yield a result. When you first have that exchange back and forth, you're not sure if she's gonna accept it.
Yeah.
We want I don't know if y'all watch Marriage Boot Camp. I'm into reality schmut, but they be dropping gems.
They do.
He said foreplay starts on Monday for sex on Saturday. Oh, you got to start way before going back to the yield.
Foreplay starts on Monday for you to have sex on Saturday. And honestly, it's each relationship is different, but
I gotta do Monday,
one thing.
Tuesday. I might be gone for 24 at work, but I gotta get it before I go to work. And when I come back, I'm good. And she be,
but you know what? You could get that after the satisfaction of everything else has been poured in.
Yeah,
that's a different level. And sometimes we have to start back at an original state in order to get past the state that we have hit a roadblock at.
So that's exactly where we are right now. And I think that one thing that we didn't pivot with on the first time was realizing when we're kind of in the same old pattern.
Yeah.
And trying to figure out a way to say I need something new without being insulting to the other person or disrespectful. And we both are right now craving something different. Yeah. So instead of going out to get the different, let's start anew.
What it look like if you seduced me?
Yeah,
what is that? You used to seduce me back in the day, and I think we getting these patterns, like you said, in marriage. We getting patterns where it's just like expected.
Mm-hmm.
I call it being shelved. You had a toy for so long, you put it back on the shelf.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and then you wait for it to gain interest again. And like I said, that's why I said it in the beginning. It's called pride is the devil. I had to work my pride away so hard. It was a process. Like I started off with just the I love yous. You know what I mean? Just saying I love you randomly. You know what I mean? When she walked by, like you said, treat like new pussy. Treating like a new pussy was when she walked by, grab on her ass.
Yeah.
Because I've been with her so long, you know what I mean? I'm second guessing myself not to touch her. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because like, man, we weren't actually having that friction. Man, I'm out here getting attention. Well, I'm gonna grab on her ass, man. She should get on my nerves anyway. I put that pride to the side.
Like, Sean,
Real shit, you know what I mean? And it actually benefited. It didn't happen immediately, and that's what the pressure of taking it away from me was, because I placed an expectation of when it was going to occur. So then it put more pressure and anxiety on myself, where I'm just doing it for fun, not thinking I'm going to fuck. When I'm gonna fuck, all right, it don't matter. I'm just going ahead and have fun with you.
That's what's up.
Or even the aspect of what y'all were saying in terms of trying to like switch it up, having that curiosity about each other. You know, there's the curiosity when you first meet someone, having that curiosity. We haven't done it in a while, but we used to at least once a year find questions, and because we're both really competitive, we make coupons. So like free, I mean, if you can't find it, it's not valid anymore. But he used to have a coupon that said free scary movie, because I hate scary movies.
I know where you.
So we made coupons like that. Free massage.
We'd go to Top Golf and we'd be very close.
Yeah.
All right. If I win, I want a lap dance off of straight booty twerking music. You know what I mean? And look, I can see the face with you. I see your face like chicks want that sensual. Take your time with me. Agree. But if I won that bet, I want that booty clapping up in motherfucking dream or whatever it is, you know?
Versus I want the whole what's my girl's Floetries album on repeat.
You know what I mean?
You know, I prefer to hear some Gucci Mane.
It's crazy. I was like, no, we did.
Gucci Mane give me motivation.
We did.
No, Gucci, tell me. Okay.
And I want Miguel. I want all of Miguel. And he's like, can we put on something else?
Oh nah. One time I got so mad. I said, "What you trying to put me to sleep?"
See, and that's him. He's like,
dang.
But again, going back to doing it on bets. But what we used to do is invest in getting to know each other again. We take the love language test. I won't say every year, but we take it every so often because again, we change as people.
Damn.
So we do questions, and what we do, because again, we're competitive, we have 2 whiteboards. My son just found them in the garage last weekend. What we used to do is like the newlywed questions. What would such and such say? There's a show right now. We technically did it, and we did it the lazy way, where Aisha Curry and Steph Curry have a show on HBO, and they do those newlywed questions. But we would answer them too. Yeah.
About last night. Yeah.
It's called About Last Night. But we answer them too and see if we would get it right. Yeah. So like one of the questions was like, whose family is the craziest? Out of being polite, we would have lost because he was like, my family. I'm like, you know, it's my family.
Okay, Houston Ratchet.
Low key, I think that is. I would have said Daniel's family, but when I sit down,
yours might be a little bit.
We're not even, because your family was like the dope boys, and my family were the killers.
No, we weren't.
We were like the hitman of the dope boys. So I don't know how you balance that.
So, but it's questions like that. So we just, it starts conversation. It starts that interest.
Fucking Rico. Snatch rotation.
So
Kendra,
Kendra, what would you tell yourself?
So my younger self, I would say, is communication. Yeah. Just because you can't say it initially doesn't mean you can't go back and say what you're feeling. Because I think, again, like how he said year six, I'm just getting to a place where I'll leave something alone because I've learned I hurt him. But for 4 years of our marriage, I would just hold stuff until it blew up. Yeah. Versus I can come back and say it in a way that he can receive it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Versus for 4 years, I feel like I held things in and got in an argument with the Gemini because that's the only person I was listening. Off of stuff that I felt like I couldn't say. Communication.
That's so big that you say that, because one of our therapists, like, we about to get into another 20 minutes, 30 minutes. One of our therapists said one time when we were talking about communication with me, I would say something at a time she wasn't necessarily receptive to what I was saying. the therapist said, if you want Antoine to continue to be more open about how he feels, you have to give him a safe place to land with his emotions.
Damn.
My therapist definitely said that to me.
You know, and so if that's like a parent. If your parent's always scolding you when you come to them about just life situations in high school, you're not going to talk to your parent. You're going to find somebody else to talk to.
Right.
You know what I mean? Compared to y'all got grown kids, you know what I mean? It's like, nah, come to me. I'm not judging you. I'm here for you. You know what I mean? What you went through.
Right.
I hear that shit half the time.
That's right.
I'm like, oh, thank you for telling me.
Yeah. And that's why I created the best friend moment thing too, because sometimes I don't know how to present it in a way, but also she has an option to say, I'm not in a space to receive that best friend moment.
Yeah.
So I don't want to hear that.
You heard
And
that?
I'm like, thank you.
You'd be like, I thought this was a best friend moment. You can't say the best friend
No, you gotta say it before he says the stuff. You gotta say it before.
You gotta say it quickly. I'm like, best friend moment. And she has to acknowledge it.
But you have to acknowledge
You have
it.
to acknowledge the best
There
friend
has to be
moment.
like the receipt.
Yeah.
So like you
Just
can't
go
say
on
best friend moment and then be like blah 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 blah. You
Nah,
have
I
to
say best friend moment.
moment.
And she'll be quiet. I'm like, did you hear me? Best friend moment. She's like, you know what? Not right now. And I feel some type of way. I'm like, all right, let me know when you're ready to talk.
Sometimes people over there are like, oh, you don't want to know? Oh, I'm not gonna want to tell you later.
See, he's so petty. He'll be like, "Oh, it's not." I'll come back later and be like, "Okay, let me talk to you. I'm ready." Oh, I'm not ready now. I'm not.
She made me look all sassy and shit. Not right now.
That's how
You like the way she reacted to you?
Yeah, she doing all that. I don't be.
that's what it look like.
No, at least you sassy. When Kendra reacts to me, I'm just as big and goofy from Disneyland. Oh, I'm Antoine Rascal.
But that's what That's what makes marriages beautiful, and the fact that you can laugh about that. I know you can't laugh in the moment, but we can sit back and we can laugh about that, and that's what this is, man.
Yeah.
So I think we can wrap this up. We really truly appreciate
Even though we
you guys.
still talking and stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna finish this on the live. We really would like to have you guys there because we're other couples there.
We gotta reschedule Top Golf.
We got definitely.
Yes.
And we might actually make that a thing. Like,
Top Golf for people.
yeah, something to think about. We'll
Something to
think
think
about
about.
it.
They actually do have little, like corporate
Yeah,
things that you could do it like that and just have, top golf relationship. Because I like that you said that because that's another thing. One, we have to show love as relationships. I was telling Kendra all the way, I don't want to be the married couple that the younger generation sees and thinks once you get married, the flirtation is gone, the ass grabbing is gone, the intimacy is gone. I said no.
Oh, so I listen. Kayla and Kiara done seen all kind. Listen,
They
hey,
ain't seen a thing. We ain't
don't
doing
you-
shit in front of them.
don't you?
Yeah, naturally. You gotta say it on camera.
I will let them know. Don't just be knocking on my door and walking in. You might see me doing some stuff to your father that you got questions about.
Literally says that.
Literally, and I'll be straight up. Like, you want to see what you want? What's happening? So, and with the girls' friends, when their friends are around, we don't hold back. Daniel will still grab my butt, like little stuff, because we don't want these kids to believe, like you said, that when you get married, all of a sudden the desire is no longer there.
Yeah.
Yes.
The is no longer there. You only getting married out of obligation because everyone says you have to do it.
No financial support. Yes.
Nah, we're partners, but we ain't ball and chains, and we're not just obligated to be with each other because we like being around each other. We still flirt with each other. We're still open and honest with our. I think that has to be shown more.
Mm-hmm.
The passion. Yes. If you're not, why am I going to be with somebody for the rest of my life and there's no passion? Are we just raising kids and making money together and going to church and cleaning the car? Nah, nigga, there better be some passion in this motherfucker.
Yes.
Because if you don't have the passion in your marriage, you're going to find it because we're human beings and we're desirable by nature. We're desirable by nature. Yeah. That's what makes us human versus animals, because animals are just instinctual with it. Nah, the difference between us and animals is we have desires. Mm-hmm. I desire to be with you.
Hey, look at that smile. I like it, bro.
So you ready to wrap it up?
Yeah.
This has been another episode of Divine Purpose Podcast. We appreciate the Roscoe family for joining us. The love of a family is life's greatest gift. Mm-hmm. And with that, we'll wrap it up. We love you, we honor, and we praise you. Peace.
Namaste, bitches.
All right.
But nah, y'all, this was good. This was really good. We could literally still all day talking.
Yeah, that 2 hours, 30 minutes was not quick.